3, 2, 1, and welcome back to Chasin the Racin.
I'll tell you what, for disclosure reasons, I'm actually just going to go welcome back to the podcast, and here we go. But the housekeeping element, let's go straight into it. Thank you so much to OMG Racing, Bennetts and JCT Truck and Trailer Hire. But we also have the individual sponsors, and that is, now Grace gave us a briefing here, so I need to get this right. It's someone get their phone out.
Days on the dirt,
which is terrible. No, it's
well
like
done,
no, I know the professionalism's still there, mate. I know it's take 7, mate. I know, but it's Leah Day. It's when you know someone as well, like Leah, who was actually a part of the Bennetts family, and she works for Indian.
She works for Royal Enfield now.
Yeah,
Royal Enfield. Thank you very much.
Sometimes see a million about in the office.
Yeah, and no, she's got her own business set up with a partner. But what they do is female only track experiences, but not like tarmac. It's all like flat tracking. Like Leah she was professional level.
Yeah, Leah was an absolute doer on flat track. She rode for Indian motorcycles, didn't she, in America?
And I think that's why the connections jumped on that side of things. Yeah. So her and a friend have set up the business, and it's been incredibly successful. But we have, like, the audience is borderline down the middle on this. It's just crack show, isn't it? You know what I mean? We've got the partners listening and enjoying it. But going out for a female-only track day, like going out motocrossing, like going out flat tracking, and that is the way to do it, is 100% with Leah. And she is dry as stick. Like, it is great crack. Great experiences, and you've got to click on. I've actually got a link on the phones here.
So there is a website link which Grace is going to pop in the description at the bottom, but you can follow all of the socials at Days on the Dirt.
But yeah, so we went out the other day, and I got a bit dressed up, didn't I?
You did. I was pleasantly surprised to see you
it was for a dirty event as well, wasn't it? We went to the Super Enduro at Newcastle, which is, I think, the most amazing bike race I've ever been to watch.
That's a fair statement.
That is a hell of a statement from him.
Fantastic. So Newcastle Arena, I've never been to it before. It was,
and saying that, they've never even been to England. Never mind Newcastle.
I don't think they have in a proper championship version.
It was a Grand Prix.
It was a Grand Prix. So it was the last round of the Super Enduro World Championship.
Just describe, because I've been to that utility arena, but I don't know what the
utility.
What's it called? It is utility arena.
It's the Metro Arena, man.
Yeah,
It'll always be.
It was Telewest Arena before that. So
you could tell that the northeast. It's the Metro Arena.
It could do with the liquor paint and stuff, but it actually worked quite well for the event that it was.
What did they put in the middle of that?
Well, they filled it with dirt, which made it look a lot better.
Right.
and logs that they fished
just roll it in shit and it improved.
What have you done with the place? Have you cleaned it up a bit? Yeah, we chucked a load of dirt in the middle. Oh, I like it.
I hope the utility arena never want to sponsor the pod.
Or Christian.
Yeah, I'll take that back quick. So they could just cover the inside with like logs and like
truck tires.
Truck tires and like there was loads of like concrete like drainage bits and just stuff, basically stuff that's really hard to ride over. And they make like a bit of a supercross style shape to the track, so it was like 4 lanes just back and forth, and it was just fucking mint. The reason the racing was so good, one, obviously we've got basically the top 5 riders in it were British, really. Yeah. So the guy that won the junior world championship, I think it's under 21, but I might be wrong, one of the 2 Brightmore brothers, he won it the year after his brother had won it, so that's 2 junior world championships from the same family, so that was cool as. And then for the main world championship, it was 2 lads that are pretty local to us anyway. It was Billy Bolt, who's obviously a big fan of this pod, or been on it a couple of times, and Johnny Walker, who's only across the country in like Cumbria way. So
he's a Cumbrian lad, is he?
I think he's across that way.
Do you know
he's Andorra now, like? But
they're all in bloody Andorra.
They're all
a bit of coin, and then they're away.
When are you moving?
Bye bye Penrith. Hello Andorra. So. But it was.
I like how Joe's keeping quiet. Them in voices, you know what I mean?
But when
it was just very good, and I think that having they made a bit of a thing about Billy, didn't they? You know, like when the start of the event, he was hiding in the crowd. And his bike was there, but he wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? So they were like looking all over for him, and the lights are going around, and it was really good. They put on a really good show. You keep talking. No problem. They put on a cracking show, and it was the atmosphere was just really good, and everyone's having a few beers and stuff, and the racing was just fantastic. Like Christian says, I've never seen. You look at it and think, you watch the videos on Instagram stuff, just didn't do it justice at all. You get there and you think, fuck me, they're going to ride over that. And then, yeah, it was just next level. It was excellent, so entertaining. And they're doing, you can almost tell by the time they're getting to the end of the 6-minute runs as well, weren't they? Like,
yeah, super short race, but it's so intense. Like, they were starting, even the top boys were starting to flag and get a bit like throttle happy, clutch happy.
A few little mistakes and crashes and stuff.
And that was probably the thing that made it the most interesting, because like literally they could have like Billy's. I don't want to be like downwards about Johnny's riding because he's fucking unbelievable, but Billy was like almost another level up. However, the track is that hard that he was inclined to have a crash himself. So like he might have like a bit of a lead, but then he's had a tipple over in the rocks, and once they do lose that momentum, they almost can't get going again.
Yeah.
So like there'd be then another pass for lead. Like it's not like tipple racing that we watch where if someone gets a second, it's like that's a big gap and they're away.
The consistency's there, and off you go.
It's like they could have half a lap lead and fall over.
But they've got to try and restart.
And then all of a sudden, the other guys pass them.
We'll dig the bike out for starters. Some of them are wedged like this with the back wheels in the air. They've got marshals running on the second place person's coming
on like the momentum at the start of that section to get them all the way through it. Yeah.
And what I thought, like, I don't know if you thought this, but what would have if I just kept thinking if that was me, the crowd was going bananas. It was like being at a pantomime. They're like, "He's behind you!" So they were like screaming and stuff. And I thought they must be to hear that.
Oh, what an atmosphere! It was fantastic. An insane atmosphere. It was genuinely like, because the first race was like the British race, and I was like, this is wank. And I'm sure those riders were really good, like, but the level was
a bit different.
And you know, when you're like, going to be a long old night. This we've got like 8 races of this.
So this is the whole arena that he's offended. Now he's offended at like a whole class.
No, but I just like to be honest. I just like to be honest. But there was a massive difference. It was quite hard to follow the first race because even within that level there was a massive difference in level. So it was almost like watching a practice session because once they'd done one lap, they were already lapping each other.
Right.
So you kind of couldn't follow who was winning and
it was spread out a bit.
Whereas obviously in the main like prestige group and even in the under 21 World Championship, they were fucking going. So it was like, it was proper racing.
Yeah,
I was absolutely buzzing off it. So what a mega event to have.
He was that excited. He jumped on the track after.
Yeah, full track invasion.
Full turtleneck.
The wife was the one that wanted to do the track invasion. So Johnny Walker had organised us tickets as a thank you because we had him down and his missus down to Alton, and then we jumped the fence that Nicola wanted to do, but the other side was a bit further down. So she went full belly flop over the fence. But it was mega.
And before what we haven't mentioned is, I found something that he's shit at.
Go on.
So before we went to watch the Super Enduro, we went bowling.
And? Terrible. Did you have to put the sides up?
No.
And use
should have done.
He should have done.
You couldn't do it without the sides.
He did 4 or 5 on the belt without hitting a single pin. And
I've got a mental block with bowling. And then once I lose the interest because I'm not good at something.
You're just not interested.
I am literally not interested.
Yeah. That was actually a bit of a shock for me. I thought it was going to be Manners because where was our invite to this fantastic evening, Joe?
You were in Spain.
And you were in Northallerton.
You've got children. To be fair, it was a bit last minute. I actually thought I'd missed it. I seen the Billy Bull did that video.
I was already going, wasn't I?
Yeah, he was already going, and then I seen the video of because that new KTM shop's around the corner from me, and I see Billy did a video, and I was like, "Oh, I've missed it! I've missed it!" I thought it was the weekend before, and then realised it was that weekend. So
and Josh sold the whole experience to his missus by saying they were going to some event.
Who's
that bloke you were gonna go watch? Drake or something? She was off to see Drake.
I just said, "Do you want to?" She wanted to go out on Saturday, and I was like, "Yeah, we'll do that." And then I sussed out this was happening, and that Christian and Nicola were going, and them two get on. I thought, I've booked your tickets for the arena. Well, what to say? Don't worry about that. We're just going out. We're going to meet Christian and Nicola. We're going out bowling and stuff. And then, like on the Saturday morning, I sent her a video on Instagram. She was like, "What is this?" But to be fair,
no.
To be fair,
she got all dolled up to smell a 2-stroke. Like we all think that's amazing, but I'm not sure it was.
She loved it. She really enjoyed it. Yeah. She really enjoyed it. It's funny because like she's only just getting into the sort of like world of motorcycling. She's doesn't
regretting it.
Yeah, like obviously she's met you guys and stuff, and she listens to the stories, and she's just like what? So it was good for like experience it, but you enjoyed it, and but once you figured out who a few people were and stuff like that, you really enjoyed it, and it was class. And I just think that arena atmosphere was really you don't
Fantastic.
get that. You don't get that in motorcycling, really. It was really good. So yeah, we enjoyed that.
They have got another event coming up in
10th of August.
10th of August. So at the arena, it's like
it's like a Day of Champions thing, isn't it?
I want to put it out there because I do want. It was for me. I thought it was just mint to see that arena sold out for a motorcycling event. Because you think that's quite a risky thing, to take on an event and the numbers have to work.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's
was it fully packed out?
It was very,
you couldn't
very
buy
near,
a ticket.
There wasn't empty seats. It was totally sold out. You couldn't buy any more tickets for it.
So I'm like, it's nice to just put out the fact that they're coming back. So it's not for the World Championship. It is like a champion of champions. So they're going to get like all the different enduro categories of which there is quite a few, but they're basically going to do the same thing, but with a few different riders.
Yeah, I think it's good because they kept calling it, and I mean they'd sort of joking when they say this, but they were saying like the home of super enduro in the UK, which I thought was really cool for the Northeast as well. I mean, you've got a few motocross shops and things very near to that arena, like literally in the next road as well. You got a Honda dealer, Triumph dealer, and then you've got Bike Sport and stuff on Westgate Road. It was like really cool. I just thought it was class for the area, and I think there's
as far as the Northeast goes, we're not, especially like in our discipline, like on the short circuits, we're not known. You know what I mean? We don't have a big following.
Here, is there?
There's nothing. We've got Croft, which doesn't have an event really, apart from like the one
the
trophy they have a year.
Yeah, they have a Northeast
the local
club,
BSB rounds Knockhill, but then you think
even that's not local, is it?
not local.
Donington's probably closer. Yeah,
they are. But they have the motocross element, which is when you think, it's 3-4 times bigger, because it's more accessible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And most of our stories on Chasin the Racing come from motocross, don't they? I did motocross racing build up.
Yeah.
But they have, like you said, to be titled as the home of hard enduro.
It was
Billy Bolt doing it. That's
class.
cool. That
Billy
mind,
with
innit?
Johnny not far away, like it is.
And so Billy only had to qualify on pole basically, so they do like a super pole lap.
And which you get points for.
Yeah.
I was wondering how that worked.
Yeah. If he qualified on pole, basically, he'd won the World Championship.
Right.
Which obviously he did. And it was like amazing. The atmosphere was just class.
But it was kind of weird because within...
We'd been there 5 minutes.
Within 5 minutes of us being there, Billy Bolt goes and wins the World Championship. So it's kind of like it's almost like a...
It was, it was class.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, wow, whoa.
And he's like ghosted his bike off the berm.
He's like covered in champagne within 5 minutes of doing he's done one lap, he's done like a 30-second lap, and that's it. Like he stinks of champagne, everything, which I'm sure is cool as. But then it was like, right, now it's the night
race,
show.
Yeah.
I tell you what was good though is Jersey. Just shows Billy Bolt, Red Bull athlete, Husqvarna, a huge brand and everything like that. And he had an Alan Shearer replica husky top.
That's cool.
And I'm like, that is just, obviously, for being up here, I think that is class. He is at home, world champion. It was perfect, absolutely bang on from absolutely perfect.
There's one regret of the evening for me that we didn't suss out where the party was after.
I thought I was going to say the turtleneck.
No, the turtleneck, yeah. Didn't suss out where the party was after. I was a bit gutted about that.
That's the only time he's got fashion envy off me. He was like,
I wasn't envious, don't worry.
Have you got a turtleneck?
Ouch! I tried, man.
I'm only joking.
I tried.
Would you want it if you weren't going with him?
Oh, no, that is the question.
Would you want the turtleneck?
Because Nicola made him wear it, I'm sure.
Or did you
think?
No,
I pulled it out of the bottom of my drawer. I found it. I'm like,
put the dust off it.
Josh will like that. He'll respect me for wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. No, it was good laugh.
Would you wear a turtleneck?
No.
Actually, Josh Corner? It was quite cold in the arena, so it was very
kept you warm.
Good. Yes, my neck,
practical.
My neck was lovely and toasty, thank you.
I'll tell you one thing, if you listen...
It was like a scarf I can't lose.
Hey, Christ.
The jumper sales, man.
On the new merch that Grace is asking us to push, by the way, is the Christian in limited edition turtleneck.
Yes. Oh, please, can we do one of them? That would be so funny.
The snoot, she's actually bringing out snoods. We should just get a Christian in one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The scarf you can't lose.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. But I tell you what, as you can tell, this is like a full catch-up pod, and I was over at Christian, so I travelled up from Spain yesterday. I was awake for 41 hours. And I'm not even like, I just clocked it. I don't know why. Mind you, the 4 Red Bulls would have helped on that situation. I'm caffeine sensitive, as you know, regardless. But
you have a few quick shifter coffee bags in the van with you.
Oh, mate, didn't have time to make a quick shifter coffee.
He just ate it neat. He was just spooning it in.
Just eating the beans like they were bags of crisps.
It was
like a nicotine bag.
I don't know if we can endorse that.
I think you might edit that one out.
Hey, we're chasing the race and we can do it. But I wish I did. I think that's a good advert for them, actually. Should we just rack a few lines out?
No, right, we'll just change the subject.
That's intensity 9. But no, it's like, this is like drove up, been to Christian's today. No, that is class, that, mate.
Trimmy bush, didn't you, lad?
I did come round a trimmer's bush, and then we got talking about. I'm still half asleep here, but we're just.
By the way, he's very good at his job. At his other job.
Oh no, I've had him before trimming my. Well, not mine. He trimmed my neighbour's bush.
Oh,
yeah.
And then I did there's a lot of sexual innuendos with my job there. Even Joe's just judging us all tonight. Turtleneck.
I'm just taking it all in.
But no, like, if you don't make it at racing, you've got a career.
You'll do all right with your job.
Unfortunately, I'm better at cutting trees, but there you go. But it's no, so like travelled up last night, absolutely blowing out my gasket. But it's in this like perfect opportunity, and we were trying to get a guest lined up, and this is just mate. We were just talking about how exciting it is just to sit down again, and like the catch-ups. It's podcasting at its best, in my opinion. No, we just get to have the full slaver on, and then we've had the catch-up with you at the moment, but you've been out testing the job. You've got some exciting news, but I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to get in Joe's new news.
No, let's go back to Christian, because he's been on a bike.
Well, hold on.
You've been on a bike.
I've got news. We've all got news.
I missed
here.
the last catch-up because I had the proper shits.
You were poorly.
I was really, really poorly last time. I missed it. It was like Christmas time, wasn't it? Was it?
Did Toby give you it? Because kids just bring home all the desserts.
Yeah.
The diseases, don't
they? I wish you brought home the desserts.
It's in there eating desserts.
Why are you bringing all the diseases? You're supposed to bring desserts, Joe says.
Just bring diseases home, don't they? Horrible.
Come on, what's your news? Come on,
let's go. Hey, Joe, let's go with you.
Let's go, Joe.
Come on, let's set the scene here. Come on.
Well, I've got my ride confirmed in World Endurance on the Bennetts again. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Have they got normal forks yet?
No.
Oh.
I'm over the moon with it. I'm really happy because it's where I wanted to be again. Because the only reason I'd want to go back to racing is to have the crack and enjoy myself. And I enjoy myself with them boys. They're fucking brilliant. They're mega. Yeah. Just a big family, good crack. Like, number one is enjoy yourself, but then with that they do take the racing seriously as well. So for me it's mega. So
it does look like a cool project to be involved in. It's just that sort of like, it's not it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just looks different as well.
And the thing is that I'm never going to be in BSB, so I accept that, and it's fine. I'm cool with that. So I want to do something where I can ride the bike and still feel like I'm getting some enjoyment from it. And I get on with the lads, my 2 teammates, Ludo and Gabby. They're fucking just proper sound lads, even for French lads.
It's not fair to say you wouldn't be in BSB because of ability, though. Like, circumstances maybe, but not ability. Like, I've been out on track with you. It's not because of ability. And you are in a World Championship series, basically, though.
Say that I think
Josh is.
Yeah. Josh, that's a very nice thing to say. That I appreciate it.
What's your role within the team? Are you going to get to do some main races, or are you?
This is the thing.
You do rotation, because sometimes some of them do that. Don't
the game's changed.
Yeah, well, they've changed for World Endurance this year. For the stock teams, you can run 4 riders in the race.
Oh, man.
So traditionally it was 3 riders and you had your reserve rider and the reserves there if the shit is the fan. But stock, I think someone at the FIM must have just been taking a shit and thought, let's put Lown to run all 4 in stock, why not? Because superbikes still have to run 3.
Yeah.
But stock now you can run 4, but we're experimental class and they've said that we can only run 3.
You just did a give and take away to me. Why do that?
But our qualifying times are done against the stock bikes.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense for us to then have the 3 rider. So at the minute the team are talking with the FIM to try and get the rule overturned because it doesn't make any sense.
3 or 4 experimentals anyway, isn't there?
That's it. So it doesn't really affect them. So they may as well as allow us to run the same. Better, But also, do you know what? I'm going to try and have a bit of self-confidence.
Good lad.
They haven't confirmed the fourth rider yet. So they're going to test someone out of IDM.
Also, there's only 3 at the moment.
So there's me, Gabby, and Ludo that are confirmed. So basically, I think we'll probably go to the Le Mans pre-test, which is the start of April, and I think that's where the potential.
Yeah. Do they have to have a 4th rider, or can you just run 3?
No, they could just run 3
and hope you don't need the 4th rider. Basically,
a lot of
them do that. Yeah.
Question: what's IDM?
German
Superbike.
German
So
Superbike.
they've got a lad who's keen out of German Superbikes.
International Deutsche Meisterschaft.
Well, Schumacher did it a few years ago, didn't he?
His eyes glazed over when he said shaft.
Yeah.
I think. Is that the Dutch Championship as well? Is that part of the same thing?
I don't know.
Or is there a separate? Anyway, sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Carry on.
No, I think it's separate actually.
Yeah, I think that must.
But
be
I think
separate.
a lot of the Dutchies do the German because
the neighbours.
Quite close.
Yeah, but I was talking to Adam McLean the other day, and he says that he's doing this Dutch Championship.
No, IRRC. No, International Road Race Champion.
Yeah, that's completely
sorry.
That's. I tell you what.
I thought you meant a short circuit championship. Sorry, right,
that's a good shout. That Adam McLean. I'm excited for him. It's going to be a hell of an experience. He's got a young family, and obviously the Irish scene, which we'll talk about like later on in the podcast. But he's made the move and he's made the correct one at the moment.
So that's a road race. Sorry, when I spoke to him, it was a bit hurried, but I assumed he meant a short circuit alongside because he's doing some TT
stuff. So that IRRC, it's like. They're kind of between a short circuit and a road. They're not like full road stuff. It's like places like Hengelo and things like that.
4 or 5 mile road circuit.
Oh,
they're like real fast road circuits, but with like less lampposts.
They're a little bit more open.
It's hard to describe it really. If you watch one online, you'd kind of get it.
Yeah, I think anywhere that doesn't have a gravel trap is classed as a road race.
It's like the Ulster, but different in Europe. Is that fair?
No, not at all. In my opinion, it's mad. Like losing. Nah, it's like you see, you got Gary Johnson's went over last year, and he got an injury with there was a cooling hit the track, wasn't it?
Yeah. He went down, then the bike followed him.
And there was
his femur. He's been in a bad way with it.
He was in a really bad way with it, Godlum. But there was like a massive pile up in the turn one, so you could cooling hit the floor, and there was fucking hell. I think the whole grid went through it. But
Danny Webb's done it. Davey Todd's done it.
I know the one you're on about.
When you look at the track layouts, they're nothing like the Ulster. They're very stop-start. You know what I mean? It's like you got the fast chicanes, like hammer on the brakes and turn. Now, when you look at the history of it, it's like what's his name? Datsa. I think he got on the podium at the Macau this year.
Fast as anything.
Fuck, mate, he was just possessed.
On the Penn's bike, he was amazing.
Mate, absolutely fine. But then that layout, because like Macau isn't flowing, the back section is, but even though it's second gear, very go-kart-esque, you know what I mean? Stop, turn. But then he's come to the Isle of Man, and there's no doubt in my mind that Datsa will not come good. But that, that style is so different. Someone like Datsa on the podium at Macau Grand Prix, even in his first year, he should have been considerably higher up than he was. He was high up, but not from when you look at results from other circuits, like in the IRC, he should be mopping away with it. I mean, like running top 10s immediately.
Where at?
That TT.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did he ride at the TT? Did he ride at the TT?
But even so, you get that similarity
but
between tracks.
IRRC is more like an Eastern European type series.
But
Danny Webb, I'm sure that Danny Webb stopped doing it because there was like some old lass coming the wrong way in a car, and he just said, "I'm not doing it anymore." I'm sure there was some story like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're a bit like rogue.
Oh God.
I know.
But over there, it's proper, like, it's let's shut the road, put some hair bales out. It's like, it's just England's full of wet wipes and feelings and shit, man. You can't even flush a wet wipe. That's how bad it is now.
You don't want flipping Doris going to the post office halfway through a race.
No, but the mad thing is the local. I agree with that in the same breath. But the locals, if like,
do you know?
It's got an old school.
No, but there was rugby tackler. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure he just parked it up and went, "Nah, you're all right."
Yeah, I do remember vague. That jogged something in my mind. That.
But anyway,
sorry, world endurance. Totally.
So there's 4 rounds. The usual 4.
Yeah, usual 4.
Spa, Boldor, Suzuka, and Le Mans.
Yeah. You did them in a different order.
I know. I did them.
Completely.
Not in any order.
No, hey, mate, I'm impressed he did all of them. Never mind.
Spas,
not the order.
I
can't, mate, I've sat here listening to it and I can't remember any of them.
Spa's not a 24-hour this year.
What? Why?
It's the darkness issue.
They've brought it down to 8 hours, I think. or it might be a 12-hour,
rubbish.
which is shit because it's arguably the best track on the calendar. So
there's no argument. It is the best track on the calendar, which is quite impressive given that you've got Suzuka in there as well.
Yeah.
What darkness?
So like last year was the first time they've run Spa as a World Endurance, and there was big talk about. It sounds daft, but how dark it gets. When it gets dark,
no light
you are in the hills up there.
There's no light pollution. You're in the middle of a forest, and
class.
because it's like 6.5 kilometers long or whatever it is, they haven't got the ability to light it. And when we went last year, actually the lights were worse because they were so sporadic. It was like when you went through them, you could see the bit of light, and then it made the dark bits darker. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Adjustment on the
It was nearly impossible. You'd like there would be like it wasn't a spotlight. It was like a street lamp, but when you go in the speed you're going, it was as if it was just on such a small
tiny bit
patch,
of track,
and literally beyond it was like you were going into a black hole. You might as well have been going off a cliff or anything because you couldn't see a thing, could you?
But they did a like a circuit test a couple of months before, didn't they? And they took Gintoli and Foray and like Karel Hanneke, and they said, right, this is the lighting, and all of them went, this is not happening. We are not riding on this. So, because you were the fourth for cert, weren't you?
Yeah, I got involved in all these conversations. I'm not even riding.
But when you went for the race weekend, that apparently was 10 times better than what they'd initially done and said, yeah, that'll be all right, won't it? And the guys had just been like, fuck no. So obviously conversations have happened. They said we're not going to do a night race. We'll just do the daytime race there now. So yeah, hopefully if we do the pre-test and I'm up to scratch and up to speed, they'll give me the position. So I go testing next week.
That's cool.
Now,
where are you going?
Pau, which most people haven't heard of. It's down.
Is that next to Car?
Is that the video Guntoli put on the other day?
Is it a Dunlop track?
I don't know.
Pau or Po?
It's near Toulouse.
Or Toulouse.
It's probably not pronounced Pau, is it?
So how did the pit? So is it? You know when you were the fourth rider for the Suzuki team?
Yeah.
Were you, to be blunt, were you the slowest out of them three?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But if I was quicker, I still wouldn't have been picked.
No.
That was my question.
In my team, I don't know how it works in other teams, but certainly in when I was with Cert, if I was the quickest by 5 seconds, I still highly doubt they would have put me in because that's not how it's done.
No. Yeah. And is that the same for you lot, to be blunt?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Yeah,
but as far as I know, that decision hasn't been made because this IDM guy's kind of an unknown entity. I think he's fast. So they're expecting him to be...
Yeah, going testing before the season is very different to... I was brought in as a fourth, so fourth is fourth.
Yeah.
Whereas I guess what Joe's about to do is almost be like a...
Decide what's happening.
Yeah, a bit of a who have we got? And, and it's not just about speed, is it? It's about like, can you keep it up? And are you going to flip in...
Consistency.
Throw it up the road? Are you going to like... Do you ping the limiter when you're riding? Do you...
It's funny, I got a message from Manu, the team owner, and he said... This is the offer. This is what I can give you as an opportunity. At the minute, this is the situation that's going on. The worst case I can give you is the fourth. Is that it's something you're interested in? And I just said, yeah, I want to be involved. I love the project. I love what you're doing. All I can do is prove to you that I'm worth putting in the 3.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm training my bollocks off, which I am. I'm eating properly. I'm more committed than I've ever been, which is daft. And I think you've just done your bit in fast bikes, haven't you? And you start off by saying about you've had another birthday, and you're not saying it's the end, but you're just conscious of it, aren't you? You know it's 100%. There. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm sat thinking I'm 35 this year.
You old fucker.
The window closes, doesn't it though?
It does.
And
every year's a year less.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
No matter if you're 18 or...
But I wish
38.
I was this fucking committed when I was 25. Fuck, I wish I was this committed. Or not committed in the right word, because I was committed to it, but...
Focused.
Yeah, focused.
Yeah, but you almost... Like, I've been talking about this a lot recently as well. You don't know what you don't know.
No, you don't. No.
So, like,
I like that.
You look back and I think...
Don't you wish you could have talked to yourself and give yourself a
I wish
shout?
I knew.
Yeah, but
then do you think it would have worked? Like, literally, we were just having dinner, and when I was racing Supermoto, I used to get absolutely shit-faced regularly, and I was so fast.
Yeah.
This is Will having a whiskey before he goes out.
And I don't endorse that in the slightest, but at the time that was working for me and it was fine for that situation.
Yeah.
So like, if I was like focused back then, sometimes being overly focused can be detrimental. And can take away that young, sort of free way of riding. So yeah, as much as like I think hindsight is always great, and you think, oh, I wish I was doing that back then. I don't think it's always necessarily the case. The situation changes a lot. But 100%, you do feel that sort of the walls closing in a way.
I think I'm panicking as well, and we're all probably in the same boat that you see.
Well, Dom's had a birthday today.
That's it.
To
be fair, he's only 17. He retired when he was 8. He's the youngest retired racer going in the paddock.
We haven't said happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dom.
Happy birthday, Dom.
And swiftly moving on.
We just had some banana bread celebration cake.
So good.
And we figured out, I tell you what, we proper had to slaver over that tail because we figured out the world hunger situation. We're going to put Karen Rouse in Africa.
Oh, unreal.
She will feed that country till she could solve world hunger. Karen Rouse.
Bono's got shit on her, like.
Sod your live age.
Yeah.
Send in Karen Rouse.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
I deliberately turned up late just so I didn't eat flipping 3 weeks worth of food in one go.
No, that's your battery Duracell mobile out on the front there.
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
So Josh has gone electric revolution.
I've been
So we're
electric.
now recording this 4 hours later because he had to get charged.
Talk us through owning
This
an
recorder's got
electric
more
van.
power than that.
No, that's not true.
Come on.
I've been electric for 7 months now, actually.
Yeah, and that's how long it took him to get here.
He was literally waiting for me to say that so he could get that bit out. No, but I've had an electric car for 7 months.
Talk us through the journey from Donington.
What time did you set off and what time did you get here?
I'm not telling you.
Just tell us.
No.
Go on. How long does it take normally to drive to
seriousness,
Donington from here? From
the-
here to Donington?
Well, there's
in a conventional
3
vehicle.
hours.
In an empty van.
In an empty van. Go on.
Yeah, it's 3 hours, isn't it?
3 hours.
Right,
yeah.
how long? What time did you leave? 2 o'clock.
No, I left.
Thursday.
I was at Donington at 3 o'clock charging.
I had a haircut when he set off and I've had to have another one since.
He's getting a bit confident, isn't he?
Dom hadn't had his birthday when you left. Dom's a year
There
older.
was less candles.
Right, you bunch of piss-taking
Right.
fuckers.
Look, you start with the turtleneck.
I am going to come back the other way. I rode an electric motorbike and it is the most amazing thing I've ever ridden.
What did you ride?
I rode a Stark Varg.
A Stark van.
He's made that up.
Sounds like some other
Is that
man.
when they win a Supercross
It's like an
van with that?
aftershave.
Yeah, so that bike
Where you went
won,
tonight, Starvag.
that bike won the Arena Cross British Championship
Against conventional
against
bikes.
conventional bikes. The first year it's been run in the championship and it won the championship.
Yeah.
And I rode it to do some performance benchmark testing on it. So it's got 5 modes. The first mode it hardly even sets off. And mode 5, I have genuinely never sat on a motorbike that accelerates that fast in all my life. And it just had motocross tyres on a runway. And it pulls as hard when it gets to 80 mile an hour as it does from 0 to...
It's hard to explain.
It is really hard to explain because there's no normal... We're so used to riding engines and the power curve, the way the power curve rolls.
Yeah.
But on electric, it's fully linear and it's 100%, but then fully linear all the way. So the rate of acceleration doesn't decrease in the same way.
But
as
also
what it does.
the engine brake you get from them, because I suppose it's like it's like created, isn't it? So I had a Polestar car before the van, and that you could have it in like full 2-stroke mode, so it just never broke. So you let it off and it just cruised for ages. It was great. But this van has engine braking, but it's so
Does that
linear.
recharge? Is that
Yeah,
like
it
a
does,
curse system?
Yeah, but the Polestar did the same thing, but when you were braking,
Right.
whereas this does it when you lift off the throttle. But it's just, I mean, I don't know what a 0 to 60 time. I mean, it does 0 to 60, but in about a year, it's not fast, but it feels fast, and it
then
just
you have to pull straight into the first charge point.
Yeah, no, it's just a pleasure to drive. Like electric, actually, I don't think it'll catch on. I don't think it only works now because not everyone has them.
Ah, yeah.
When
they're
you
very
say
good.
you don't think it'll catch on in commercial vehicles or generally?
No, in general. So
Or motorbikes.
yeah, no, I could see it coming.
'Cause I can
Well,
see
I was
motorbikes.
just about to say
It's
to you,
coming on a bike as well.
when now you've ridden one, do you think there's a future in it?
So
It's not simply yes or no.
So I do a bit of work for the company that owns a stake in it. So that's why I was riding it, and they're going to bring out their own, and then it's going to use the same powertrain because they basically own the powertrain.
Yeah.
So I was bench performance testing it, and I was going to performance test it against the other brand. And when I rode it, I was like, this is just unbelievable. It won the Arena Cross Championship after I'd ridden it anyway, so I still hadn't seen all those sort of results. But I'd seen sort of a lot of the videos, and it's the first time I'd watched, even from a few years back, it's the first one that you watched that looked like it rode like
a proper
motocross bike. You
Well,
could see the way.
Is it heavy?
I only rode it on tarmac, so I can't.
Because I'm just thinking, like, a motocross bike.
And the other thing there was some that came out years and years back, and because of there is a little bit extra weight, but they can also put it down a lot lower.
Right.
Because they haven't got a fuel tank for one, and they can put all the batteries down low. So that real low centre of gravity actually makes it super good over like things like whoops and stuff like that.
Right.
It's a real planted bike, and it yes, I think it is heavy. Because trying to get it off the stand you need a forklift. But when you ride it, it doesn't feel anything because the top of it is quite agile. If that makes sense. But
the weight's in the right place.
I can't give you a proper appraisal because I didn't.
You were doing speed tests.
I was doing speed testing.
This is a stupid question. Is it front and rear wheel drive or just rear wheel?
No, just rear wheel.
Because some of them have motors in the front, though.
But I could hardly keep the front wheel on the ground anyway.
Really?
Level 5, if I set off, I would literally loop it like you've seen. MotoGP bikes don't turn their like launch control on.
And they just go, whoop.
It would do a jump. It was. I honestly can't even begin to explain it. It made my race bike feel
shite,
sluggish.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to hold back on what I was saying then, because it's a completely different thing. But honestly, it makes this motocross bike made my super bike feel
average,
off the line.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I think in everyday life. So from a car, I'm only experiencing from a day-to-day car perspective. I had a Polestar. It is the nicest thing I've ever driven. Honest to God, as a tool to put it, there's no passion about it. It's not like getting.
Don't call yourself names.
You fucking Wally.
No, but
fucking Wally. Calling you a nitwit. Next.
Yeah, but as it's been pointed out to us that I swear a little bit, so I'm trying to chill out on that.
You're Wally.
You bellend.
Don't say you're fucking Wally. Just call him a Wally.
Anyway, they're good. I really like them, and I've just upgraded to a van, so I can get motorbikes in the back.
Did I read somewhere that Toyota aren't going to do fully electric cars? Because they don't believe in they do hybrids.
I think it's going to... So 100% hybrid on alternative fuel will be the thing that... They'll still be electric, but it won't be the mass market. Like, it won't be...
No.
It won't be the number one, purely for the infrastructure. It just won't catch on.
Well, you said that it now costs more to charge. And this sounds like a really boring conversation, but it costs more to charge an electric car.
I reckon it does for the type of driving I do.
Right.
Because you have to... you can't treat them like petrol cars, for example. So you charge every time you have an opportunity to charge it. You don't know, in a car, you fill it up with petrol or diesel and you drive it till it's got no petrol or diesel left and you fill it up again. If you're going on a journey, you can't do that with electric. You charge when you've got an opportunity to charge. So it's all.
That's just absolute.
No, but it does work. It's hard to explain, but it does work.
I was sold on it straight as soon as I rode it. I'm like, I need one of these. Like, Ducati have now brought a motocross bike out, so clearly now I need one of those.
No, that 450 is gorgeous. Beautiful. It's not electric, by the way. It's a proper
I need to at least renew my contract till next year when they're on general release. So I just need to go fast for at least one more year.
This brings us nicely into you discussing your plans.
What are they?
No, but we haven't
on the podcast. You haven't discussed what you're doing for 2024.
Oh, same as before.
So, tell us about it. Where have you just been?
Sold, son.
Where have you just been?
I've just been out to Españolo to do a bit of riding.
Now that is interesting. I do want to talk about that because when me and Chrissy were first having you on the show and you were taking the piss, you and Joe were taking the full piss out of each other. We're like standing co-hosting. Now you're officially, you know what I mean? No, but like when we first had you on, you were talking about, motocross riding, you know what I mean? Just keeping yourself sharp, the fitness element of it.
Yeah.
And you were probably staying away. Well, you weren't making the outright decision to go, let's go do Spanish testing. Let's get a track bike. Let's get a practice bike. Let's go do this. And then you were turning up at British straight on the pace. You were like at the front. And it worked. It massively worked. So...
Why the change?
What have you changed as well?
Yeah.
Because you've changed a few things, haven't you?
What, within the team and stuff?
No, for your preparation.
No, well, just to do with firstly, to touch on like the going and doing my own thing abroad is more the situation we've been forced into. So the championship has always had like limited testing before the season, but it's never been as limited as what we're doing this year. So this year we literally have the first time I can ride the race bike is the Donington test,
in a couple of weeks,
which is 2 weeks before. Not even, it's less than 2 weeks before the first. Oh no, it is 2 weeks before the first round. So,
bloody hell.
And then it's open. You can have 12 days throughout the year. So they can say, well, basically you can ride every day before the first round. So you could get in your 12 days before then. But everyone has to go straight to Spain. So it is literally, you ride at Donington, which is a mixed in, I haven't had the schedule through for it yet, but that is not that we're just there on our own.
It's a full BSB.
There's going to be like
support classes.
It's going to be with everyone there. So we'll get maybe 3 40-minute sessions a day. So you're going to turn up to Spain with 2 hours of riding under your belt, 2.5 hours if it all goes well.
Yeah.
Then we test in Spain on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and part of Thursday if we want it, and then we race Saturday, Sunday. So there's never been ever that I know of a BSB series where the amount of pre-season testing you can do is so succinct and so tight, and also so close to the start of the year. So I just felt this year I need to be.
Is that because of the Navarra element? If you know what I mean, is it a budget thing?
It's a budget thing as normal, but it's a shit way of doing budget things. I've just gone and flipping.
You've had to buy your own
savings on a bike to get around the budget thing.
Yeah.
So you bought a V2.
Yeah, so I bought a V2. So again, there was a bit of method in the madness with the V2. So when I first rode for Ducati, I got lent a V4, and I did the Spain thing, and I did a lot of it that year.
All right.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Right.
But that year,
How long ago was that? Sorry.
That was when I first signed for PBM, so 2020.
All right. No, so just the way you said that was almost like I did that in like 18 or something.
No,
you know what I mean?
20.
It's like
and I went there on a
on
V4S.
a road bike.
It was a bit more than a road bike. It wasn't quite a stocker. It wasn't quite a road bike.
Like a hybrid thing.
Hybrid-y.
Track day bike.
Yeah. It was a good track bike.
Yeah.
But I did that much riding on it because I went and spent like a month and a half in Spain, that when they turned up with a race bike to literally the same track I did Monte Blanco, and then the first test was at Monte Blanco, I was like, my race bike felt horrendous.
Really?
Because I got so used to riding
A big plug
near enough
nice,
to it.
near enough, and I got so used to it that when they brought the same bike that is completely different but the same, I was like, whoa, like it scared the shit out of me. It was horrible. I couldn't feel anything. It was rigid and it was too fast and it was just horrible.
Yeah.
Exactly how a race bike should feel. But I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So like the thinking behind getting a V2 was like, okay, it's still a Ducati. It's still going to have the DNA and the sensation of a Ducati, but hopefully it'll be different enough that I can separate my brain.
You're still going to have to use torque and ride it like a Ducati, but
Because the other thing is I've run it on Bridgestones.
I saw that,
yeah.
So
what's the madness with that?
Again, I was thinking...
They were free, probably.
No. Hey, they really weren't.
So Bridgestones aren't often free, are they?
Although I did, to be fair, I will put a little shout out. FWR did give me a good deal, and they are very good at supplying tyres. Literally the very next day they were there at Wilf's, ready to be shipped out because I was last minute, so thumbs up for that one. I just thought, I know how Pirellis do not last. I knew my budget was tight-ish. And I also knew that I wanted to go and work on me riding and not have to keep having to throw tyres at it because they were going off or, just becoming unrideable or unsafe. Unsafe probably not the right word, but they just get to a point where they go like...
But you're not going to learn anymore.
You're just riding around on it. So I was like, right, I'll just put bridges on it. And I was unsure, am I doing the right thing with the V2? Because...
You've invested...
Am I actually going to learn from it? Because I'm not racing a V2. And I'm like, fuck, am I doing the right thing with Bridgestones? Because they're completely different. And when I certainly rode the World Endurance bike, then Bridgestones were like that made that table seem soft,
Yeah.
So I was like... I was worried in a way that I'd invested all this time and effort into getting out there and was I actually going to learn from it. And,
all into the wrong thing.
On both situations, maybe more by luck than judgment, I was pleasantly surprised that it worked out in every which way. So the generation of Bridgestones that I used, I don't know how different they are to what I raced on, but they felt Pirelli-ish, and I was mixing between Part 1 Pirellis from Ben last year and the new Bridgestones that I had, And as much as like the lines change and your riding style change, it happened as soon as you rode out of pit lane. But the feedback that I got through the bike was kind of the same. So yes, the lines changed. Yes, how you held your body was different, but it felt the same. So I was happy with that. But they lasted. I was doing like a day and a half on a set of tyres.
It's quite interesting, quite Pirelli-esque.
Really good.
Because like Pirellis are wired lined and the VO2s aren't.
Yeah,
Bridgestone, you know what I mean? It's like, that
Pirelli-esque in terms of like the feedback I got from the front. What I was really nervous about with the Bridgestone is what I've used in the past is just no feel from it. Yeah. But I actually had feel from it. So I was like,
faces
nice.
On the floor.
And yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the V2 rides so much like the lines of a superbike. It is insane. Like, unbelievable. I did a bit of riding with Kyle, who was there on an R6. I was just going to say,
he's just justifying Kyle going up the inside of him on camera.
He actually went around the outside of me on camera.
When he got up on the fast left.
That one.
Yeah.
So
I winced a little bit. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
It was, I couldn't believe how much it was like riding a slow superbike or slow 1000. The lines were so similar. I was like, mint. I could work on how I was going to ride anyway.
Did the Oxford boys prepped it for you, didn't they?
Yeah, so I bought it off a mate of mine. And then the Motor Rapido just went and got the bike for me, went through it.
Have they tried to make it stiff and hard and uncomfortable?
No, not at all. They put a thumb brake on it because I wanted to ride like my controls.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I ain't got a clue. So I still don't know what springs are in it. I put all the clickers to the middle and I put the preload to the middle. I never changed this. I don't know what sprockets are on it. I just got on it and rode it.
Fair play.
Like literally, I ain't got a clue.
And did you go Almeria Cartagena?
Yeah, I wanted to do a lot more, so we invested. It was a bit of a balls up in a way. So the plan initially, so it was me, Ben, my teammate, and one of his sponsors, and we got a van, and we drove out there. And someone drove it out there, and the plan was basically leave it out there and fly back and forth and do loads of track days, which was cool. But it ended up we only did 2 track days, so it became a really expensive. It would have been cheaper and easier just to stick them on stillages.
Yeah, and send them out.
And send them out each time. But hey,
hindsight's a wonderful thing.
You live and learn. Like, I know it for next time. For me to have done 2 track days, I'm probably like 18 grand deep with the investment in a bike as well. I know you can sell that, but I'm still.
Thing is, you want to do a Euro track day, it's 150 quid for a stillage, isn't it?
Yeah, so I could have done it a lot cheaper. It cost us a lot of money to get there and get back for 2 track days. So I wish we'd done more. We didn't. It's all right. So the plan now is probably do another 1 or 2 in the UK because it's kind of the weather's kind of picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
If you get the right day, we can do some over here, and then.
I was going to go to Donington on Thursday last week, and I was like, it just looks pished on it. Do I want to ride around Donington? It's 7 degrees.
-1 this morning when I got up.
But yeah, so that's the reason why the switch is basically just the force of hand from the championship, basically. Which I don't really like it.
What, less testing?
Yeah.
But you know what they say, everyone's in the same boat with it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but like I just think, like, from my personal take on it, I get they have to keep costs down. Racing is expensive thing to do, but I don't think we're in the days now where there's a single team that has this budget to go and do a load of testing and get a big head start. I think there was previously, but we're not in that position now. I don't see any teams that have this like huge budget compared to someone else.
Do you not think there is a big disparity between, even with the change of teams that's going on for the start of this season, there's still a big disparity between the first team and the last team?
Not massively.
There'll always be a big gap between first and second.
But that's what
first and last.
What I don't like about it is, I don't want to say a lack of professionalism, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's a bit like saying to Newcastle United, you can only practice with a rugby ball until 2 weeks before the first match.
Yeah, that's actually a good comparison. You know what I mean?
I get it. But
go on, Joe. Go on.
Why? No. I can't ride the same bike. I can't go out and refine. The team can't go and refine.
Yeah.
Is that not a benefit for you? No, because a lot of lads are staying on the same bikes.
Yeah, 100%. It's a benefit for those that are staying with the same setup, same everything. It's the same for everyone. I totally get that. If we all just did no practicing and just went racing, it's the same for everyone. So the rules are the same for everyone. It's always fair in that respect. But I just think as a professionalism side of things,
I suppose if they're going to try,
we're the pinnacle. Supposedly,
we're sat here trying to tell the organisers how it should be done, and they've got a reason. No.
I'm not telling you how to do this. I've been getting a long lap before we started. Thank you.
There's so many ways in there of them trying to bring that cost in and make the race. It's a challenge.
The thing is, going to Spain testing, the budget to go to Spain testing is horrendous, but you could structure the start of it slightly different. I think the fact that the championship goes to Spain for the first round obviously probably has had a bit to play with that, because obviously there's a huge cost. Like, not all of the teams would have gone to Spain testing. Now a lot of them have got to go because of the first round. I don't know if the championship contributes towards that. I'm sure it does in some way. They used to for Assen, didn't they? But yeah, like, it is. I know what you're saying. When you're looking at all of the other championships, BSB often gets compared to like world championship level, and it's got world championship riders in it. Yeah, they're out testing and you aren't, essentially. So I get it.
In all fairness, World Championship had a heavily reduced testing schedule, and so MotoGP's had a heavily reduced testing schedule.
And if you watched round one of World Superbikes,
oh my God,
the racing that's produced, outstanding. Whoever's running their technical rules and regulations.
But their testing might as well have went out the window for Phillip Island, because they basically set their bikes up for race runs, and then the day before FP1, they say, you've got to do
the mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, so your bike only needs to do 10 laps. Yeah, that's a different bike. Like, it's different.
Yeah, but that's it.
Like, the first 2 days meant nothing then, didn't it?
The rate, like, round one was mega, wasn't it? It was some of the best racing that there's been. I mean, Bulliger going out winning his first race, like, as a rookie. Yeah. Amazing.
Andrea Rianoni, for me, that was ace.
4 years.
4 years. I know he won't have been parked up, will he? But it's different going and being bike fit.
I can't get over his surgery though. Have you not noticed his face? Like, all
it's hard not to.
Oh, fucking hell!
It's not the same dude.
No. Jesus Christ! Like, it's bad.
Yeah. Is it? I've not watched it. So
a full plastic surgeon model.
This is the same bloke that got kicked out for failing a drugs test. Is that correct? Yeah. That's what the ban was.
Yeah.
Was it party drugs or what was it?
No. I think it was related to having surgery or something, wasn't it? It was like something he had I don't know. Something to do with having the surgery, I think.
I lost a bit of respect for him years and years back because he missed a test when he was 4. I can't remember what team it was for, and that was because he was recovering from one of his surgeries.
Jaw surgery.
That was the thing. That was the thing I was thinking about.
Jawline surgery or something like that. Yeah, it was.
He missed a test because he was still like recovering from some of his like personal choice face surgery.
Yeah. But
that guy can ride a bike.
It doesn't matter if he looks like a melted candle or not.
Yeah,
he can fucking pedal a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and you know what's funny is actually he's still got his 4 years ago riding style, which is very different to the others. But he was totally making it work.
He was a bit more upright to everybody else, yeah.
But he's been in Grand Prix for so long, hasn't he?
Yeah, like in a way, it's almost. Is it great or is it bad?
You're talking about it's perfect timing.
Almost shouldn't happen in a way.
But he did do a lot of riding though, didn't he? Like,
I don't think he's been stopped, but there's a big difference between riding and racing.
Yeah. But then also, like, he's gone in there with no kind of preconceptions, has he? He's not got anything to compare to. He wouldn't have raced Superbike before, do you know what I mean? No. So he's just done all this practicing and got ready for it. And like you were saying before, actually a lot of racing's in your mind anyway, isn't it? In your head, isn't it? So he's probably walked in there knowing a lot, feeling confident, and and got something to prove as well. Do you know what I mean?
Phillip Island itself is quite an anomaly of a track. It's almost like if BSB went to Thruxton for round one, it would be like, okay, we've got through that. Now let's go to the normal tracks.
Yeah.
You know, you especially had that tyre situation there. You had it's just a different sort of circuit. But we did have some, I was going to say weird results and then say Alex winning. That's not weird. Alex winning was unbelievable.
Oh my
absolutely
God.
Incredible. I was going to say someone else first, but we'll go Alex. Just wow.
Yeah, class.
But do you know what? He sat with us, didn't he, last year, and he said, "I think I can win a world championship," and he said, "I think I've got more to give," didn't he? When we had him on, he was not arrogant about it. He's just got the self-belief that he knows that the results he's been producing aren't the best that he's got to give, and he's got more to give.
Yeah,
it just looked like a different ride, didn't he? I think it was ace.
His position in the teams probably changed a little bit about it for him as well.
Well, I wonder if they've changed in the way they're working with him as well, because
I think he has a new crew chief now, doesn't he? He's gone to Johnny's old crew chief.
Yeah, he's got
Parariba now. Yeah, Well, he was saying before, a lot of the Kawasaki, the way that they worked was built around what Johnny does. Johnny's always done this, so this is what you do. So if you want to go and borrow a stocker to go and ride around Cadwell, it's not happening. You're not doing track days on stockers. It's not happening. Johnny never does it. It doesn't work for him, so that's not how it's going to work. And I wonder with him moving away,
he's opened up the door.
It's a case of, right, well, I'm top dog now. Yeah. So, because Bassani's his teammate?
Bassani's his teammate. Yeah. He was not bad, but didn't really set the world alight.
He was off the boil, that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, but like...
But it's going to be different. It'd be the same as you going from a Ducati across to an inline 4, because he was on the Ducati last year.
Yeah, it's a big switch for him. Big switch change for him. But it, like, again, just the whole testing time. The whole weekend for Alex was just super impressive. Yeah. You know, like that pass that he did to take that final win was something else.
That is one
of the best overtakes I've seen ever, and it was just full commitment to do it.
Yeah, but he pulled the line back.
Yeah, he did.
Fucking hell! Like to go around the outside of someone there, you are running wide. How he just went round him and pulled it back in again. Outstanding, incredible.
And, like, if we're going to go other notables, like I think Sam was another very strong showing. The first run out in World Superbike out was strong. The results probably don't show how well he actually went.
Didn't he qualify in the front row? He qualified in the front row, didn't he?
I can't remember.
I think it
was I thought he qualified on the front row, and then was it in the Super Bowl race or something? He definitely was in the top 3 in one of the sessions. One of the.
He had a problem in his pit stop, I think, in the first one, but like his results don't show how well he actually went. But then if we flip the coin, we've got probably middle of the road was Bautista, who wasn't the Bautista that we had last time.
Yeah. He's injured. He's injured though, still, isn't he?
He's injured, and we've got the whole weight thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. The weight thing didn't really make a difference to Scott Redding, which is kind of odd.
No, but it's funny that because the weight thing's not how I thought it was going to be either. So it's just if you are it's not a combined.
How are they doing
rider weight? It's like
is it on the bike?
No, it's like if you're. Say the minimum weight's 80 kilos. So if
in a rider, this is
in the rider. If you weigh less than 80 kilos, they like make you put X amount on the bike
to bring you up to.
Yeah, it's not quite as cut and dry as combined.
Is something like, I don't know exactly, but it's not a full a kilo for a kilo. It's maybe half a kilo for a kilo.
Right.
So if the rule's 80 and you're 60, you have to put 10 on. For example, like heart, you have to sort of split the difference.
You can put it on the bike.
I think he has to put 7 kilos. I think it was.
It's a lot of weight to put on.
No, but it's a lot of weight to put on a motorcycle. But you put it right slap bang in the middle of the belly pan, right low, and actually make the top of it lighter.
They did an interview with him, didn't they? And he wouldn't admit. He wouldn't say how much he weighed. He said, "You guys are just going to have to deal with it. You can deal with the doubt."
That would be my dream, wouldn't it? Being that light, that your crew chief's going, "There's a McDonald's." I know. Having a milkshake in 20 minutes.
Eat what you want.
You know what I mean?
Get fat.
But you can't do that though, can you? Because you wouldn't be fit.
He needs to come to Karen's house.
Yeah.
Just Karen, we've got a project for you. Like, put price tag to cut your pain.
Alvaro Bautista, come to the Rouses.
Come to the Rouses. This will get. That will.
To be fair though, when we had Bridewell on here, and he said about how much. Well, you ride one. How much he thought the weight made a difference where they put it on the bike and stuff like that, and he was talking about the exhaust system and all the rest of it. Obviously they're not loving it. He's not loving that. I know he's injured, but he's obviously not loving having to put 7 kilos on it. It's not as simple as just bolting it on, low down, and going. That's it.
No,
did you see him? Sorry, him and Alex on the run to the line on the last lap of, I think it was the first race, not the Super Bowl race, first race.
Not sure.
They came out the last corner, and Alex was maybe 4 or 5 bikes in front and got the same drive and the same run. And Bautista nearly got to the line before him.
It's still a quick motorbike.
So he's still. Whereas I think when Iannone was behind Alex, that Ducati could not get past that Kawasaki.
But I think what we're not taking into consideration is the other rule changes that have been.
There's been a lot.
They take RPM off them as well.
There has been, and the Kawasaki's probably had. I spoke to someone who's technically minded, and the Kawasaki's probably had the best increase in comparison to the other motorbikes.
Right.
Which must be a kick in the balls to Johnny Ray, mind.
So that was obviously the next one we were going to get onto.
I feel
but even so, but I watched, before you go down that route, but it's like, I only got to watch race 1 before I had to start travelling, but like the one thing I couldn't get my head round was you got Top Rack behind that Kawasaki. And I bet he must have gone, what the fuck? You know, and all he's talking about in winter testing is the fact that I'm on a faster bike. Bearing in mind, Top Rack's raced against Johnny Ray. They've seen the strength and everything like that, but then it's just gone, whoop. And in the laws of physics alone, you get a slipstream,
Well, that's
you
where
should slingshot it. And that's what we're talking about.
Couldn't get past that. Couldn't get past Alex's Kawasaki, even in the slipstream.
The difference is though, where you're measuring it there at Phillip Island is not being wound up out of a slow turn. You're coming onto it in a fourth gear fast corner.
But then you hold momentum. But the mad thing about Phillip Island is it's never been a true judge for the rest of the season.
No,
you know what I mean?
Exactly,
a fast bike at Phillip Island always comes to light at Phillip Island. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's a circuit. I think you'll see the result there, and then you struggle.
Yeah. I think you'll see Top Rack take advantage of the pure speed of the BMW at some other tracks.
I mean, he also dropped the engine shit in one of the races, and that's engine number 2 of the year. I think they can only have 5 before he has to start at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Then engine number 6, he starts from pit lane or something. So you're at round 1.
And you've done 2.
Sorry, you've done 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
like.
Good.
Yeah, you're going to run out quickly.
But it was funny. Sorry, not funny, but it was. Yeah, you could say funny. It was interesting to see how Top Rack performed on the BMW. None of the other BMW riders really were any further forward.
Hey, Van der Mark was pretty good.
Yeah, Van der Mark did have a good run.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, but still.
In comparison,
he's made the difference.
Yeah.
Like that's not doing anybody a disservice.
What do we think about the Johnny Ray situation?
I was gutted for him. I was genuinely gutted for him. I just thought he didn't deserve that. But
which one about? I've only seen race 1, mind.
He just had a struggle weekend, didn't he? A couple of big crashes. Was nowhere in this practice sessions.
It was a bit of a funny one because there was a few. I don't know how real that the quotes were, but like there was a few strong quotes.
Yeah, seeing that. Yeah,
and you know, when you're like going, oh, that's round 1 with a new team, you know, like that is strong worded, but you don't know, things get taken out of context so quickly and easily that one sentence that, yes, it might have been something he said, but it might have been in a bigger sentence that, so I don't know if it's real or not, but like, he basically was saying, I want to tell the whole story, but I'm
not allowed to, yeah.
In a way, it was, the way it was portrayed in the things I read, it was like he was trying to blame the team, but the team won't let him say that, blah, blah, blah.
You have like a bad vibration or something?
He had a vibration, supposedly.
In practice.
Yeah.
But then it was almost worse because his teammate got on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. But he was shaking his head and stuff, like, and when you see someone like visibly like doing that, like...
And Johnny Ray doing that as well.
Yeah, he's obviously a bit rattled, wasn't he? But...
And it's also like, he's always been good around there. It's his home from home, you know, it's where his family... his wife's family's from. That's where she's literally from, Phillip Island.
Yeah.
So like it is home from home. It's like it's just sad to see. But
do you remember?
You can't doubt his talent. You can't doubt the team's talent. So, and it's obviously working because Locatelli was twice on the box that weekend. I think.
Yeah.
Only him and Alex were twice on the box.
But do you know the child in you, and you like? I just love seeing him on a Yamaha. Like everything looks.
I like seeing all those different liveries.
Yeah, he just looks class on it. And
he does look cool. Like.
Do you remember Dan? I don't know if Dan ever spoke about it. Linfoot's last year in Superbike on the tag Yamaha, he struggled with chatter all year, and they did everything they could to completely rebuild that bike front to back.
I remember it.
It went. I think McCams had a look at it. They reframed it. They had it tested and straightened, and Dan had chatter that he couldn't get on with. Nobody else experienced it, but Dan had this issue with the chatter. And I've always compared Dan's style to Johnny's. You know, they've both got that kind of upright
90s
riding style. When I've ridden the R1, I've personally, and I'm nobody, but I felt like you had to ride it differently. You almost had to ride it in the
super sporty style, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a completely bullshit statement to make, but yeah.
The thing that was, I think, strange is that he tested quite well.
Yes,
he didn't set the world alight, but he tested pretty good. He was top 4 pretty much in every day's
where
testing.
You'd expect to see him. Really,
you would think, right, okay, he's just getting used to it. Okay, he's not going to be absolutely ballistic crazy. To be fair, it was Bulliger that did all the wow testing.
Yeah. Andy Iannone, to be fair.
Andy Iannone, but like, yeah, it was. Whatever happened to Johnny at the weekend was just, it was sad to see.
A one-off bad weekend, yeah.
Well,
and hopefully he can reset it because he can go. It's almost a different champion. It's the only round outside of Europe.
Yeah. We already said it's one of those tracks that changes things.
It's so different. Yeah. It's the only one where we're going to have a flag to flag that's in the dry.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, do you know what? It is what it is. And he's strong enough. Minded, I've got no doubt.
Oh mate, you're not Johnny Ray without being Johnny Ray. You know what I mean?
In the situations that he's won, he's got to be headstrong enough to go, do you know what? That's why more than good enough.
That's why them headlines were a bit like out of character, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was weird to read. That's why I was like, do I trust these headlines?
Yeah, I thought the same. Yeah.
I kind of trusted Johnny more than
that
fact he was going to say that. I'm thinking, would he say that?
Yeah.
Like, would those words come out, or is this like sensationalism? Because everyone loves a bit of like.
They love the drama.
I'm sorry, but Johnny is, above, just above the rest in loyalty. You know what I mean? He's stuck with Honda.
Very
He's stuck with Kawasaki.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when Johnny Ray makes a decision to move, it's a decision that he's going to hold. So, like you say, when you see them them lines coming onto your Facebook and whatever, you're like, nah, way, man, no way.
Tell you what I thought was my favourite bit about the World Superbikes round 1 was seeing Bulega do so well and what that really meant for Supersport, because a lot of people, I think, thought the Ducati was just like outrageously competitive.
Yeah.
Which it is competitive. But Bulega was clearly making the difference, because an R6 was battling for the lead. Do you know what I mean? Yes, a Ducati won, but just.
Yeah. No, but in the same breath, though, it's interesting because our first point of comparison on tonight's show was you talking about how you have to ride that V2 like a big bike. You know what I mean?
He was almost practicing all last year.
That's what. No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when's the last time a Supersport rider at world level went straight from there?
But he was always,
you know what I mean?
He was always really like held in very high regard when he was in Moto3 and coming through the VR46 thing, wasn't he? And he just, for whatever reason, his path didn't, materialise. But so I'm not shocked to see him do what he's doing. But I thought it was really good for the Supersport class. And actually, you've got a really good grid of world Supersport bikes at the minute. And leading on to BSB, I think. Actually, we've got a very good, strong Supersport grid in BSB with lots of different
it's old school.
Just before we move on to that, can I just say, on a kind of non-riding related topic, James Tosland's turned out to be a pretty good commentator, and motorbike racers don't always make the transition to being commentators that good.
What was he commentating on?
On World Superbikes, on Eurosport.
I must have watched it on something else.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he's shit hot, Tosland.
Yeah,
because he's some
of them are shit.
Oh mate,
some of them sort of.
But when he first did BT Sport, he wasn't that great. Let's be honest.
No, but
he's
I think
he's loosened off.
Because my Eurosports, I couldn't. There was some of them when I watched it on catch up, and it didn't have any commentary on it.
It does.
If you try to watch it,
as well, does that?
Actually, it does make a difference when you
the commentary.
on the catch up. But then
I can just imagine you watching it without the commentary.
I can't
my
think
own
who
commentary in my own head. I can.
Yeah, but it's not the same, is it? It's not the same.
I've got enough going on up here that I don't need.
I can just imagine Nicola giving him grief. Christian, you're so unsociable, sitting there just in silence watching it with no commentary on. Class.
But sorry, we can go to BSB now. I just thought I had to say that because I think.
No, I think he's shit hot because you don't know what he's going to say next.
Yeah.
And when it comes out, it's backed up with reason.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
He's been there and done it.
That's the other. There's a lot of trust behind him.
So
that's it, and a massive piano and a paycheck.
Yeah.
But no, going back to the BSB point, you're 100% right. This grid is looking
a Supersport
so strong.
Yeah, mega.
So strong, and it's going to be a hard one to call.
Who's your money on?
Like Kennedy, innit?
I'd like to see.
Huh?
That was quite a strong. What's it? Kennedy, innit?
Wait. When's he not won it?
That is true.
I tell you when he didn't win it was the last time. Really, I think the championship was that hotly contested, and it was when Glenn Richards won it after he crashed and then Jack's bike broke down. But
I remember that.
When
Turtleneck.
I mean, were you not riding it in it then on the Triumph?
Yeah, but I remember watching the race for some reason, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, them couple of years were we at one point
from the Marshall point.
Yeah,
I mean at one point
the commentary turned off,
and your earplug's still in.
But it is a good more than just the riders. You've got a good set of quality riders in Supersport, but actually there's a load of different bikes that can also. The new Triumph's going to be good, I would say. Obviously, the reigning champions on the Ducati, Jack's Honda. I mean, I would say that
Peary's back in.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably on the worst bike.
He is on the worst bike.
Probably. I don't know. We'll see. And there's still a couple of. There's not really any doers on any R6s.
There's only 4 teams.
What running R6s?
Yeah, at the moment, as far as I'm aware, like Josh Davies Motorsport, who sponsored a couple of these episodes.
Yeah, well, they've
by the way, you can sponsor each episode. Just putting that out there for Grace. Please get in touch with Grace House. But they've got
the Appleyard bikes.
Appleyard gone trumpets.
Well, it's not Appleyard's, but what was there?
Oh yeah, they've sold the old stock straight.
Well, that team was Colin Appleyard's team, and then Robin Appleyard, and then Dave Wadsworth bought the team off him and sticked with the McAdam sponsorship last year with Yamahas, and then now they're the official Triumph, and they've got obviously Stapleford and Max riding the bikes. Stapleford will be quick on that.
Stapleford's going to be amazing.
Yeah, but
I think he. My teammate aside, I think I'm going to go Luke. Actually, I am going to go Stapleford.
Should we all put a quid on it now?
Stapleford can pedal.
He's
got a unique style.
I'll have a quid on Kennedy.
I think Dom wanted Kennedy, and it's his birthday.
I don't care.
We can double up, can't we?
Who do you want?
It's not a case of what.
Well, who do you think will win? That tends to work the best when you're betting.
I think Kennedy.
Is that how you do it?
Not how I do it.
You're a thick bastard.
It's going to be important.
Listen, go on. If you go on, say your person now.
I think Jack.
So it's just me on my own then.
No,
so I'm going to win £3.
Thing is, it's Jack, Ben, or Luke.
See,
because I think Ben's got.
Who
I was going to say we're missing a couple of people.
Well, no, but do you know who we really are missing? Is Lee Johnston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has just put it out on his socials tonight that he's had another bit more than a bit of a tip off.
Tib and fib break.
Tib and fib break, and he's pretty bashed up, and I'm just gutted for him, really.
Yeah.
To come back after
not
that.
only is he one of the only very few people I would call mates, that he is just a genuinely top fella, but he's come back from something serious, and his body's still recovering, to be honest with you. And he's getting right back into riding. Like literally, he was out in Spain because he just wanted to be riding, getting himself back in shape and form, and
it
all
was
that.
And it was on the climb rapidly, wasn't it? His confidence was getting there, and he was riding it. And it was his own.
I think it's fair to say his own happiness was probably on the rise from riding bikes again as well.
Of course it was.
I don't know how to word that, but he was starting to feel himself again.
Yeah.
And then just get struck down again. And I think he's had a bit of a freak accident, and it's just shit.
Well, that in his own words, it was a bike brake failure on that side of things, and it was first session, and it was just caught out. But like I say, go have a look at his vlogs. You know what I mean? He's got the full story. He is so open and honest.
Are good, and he's fully honest now. He's like not now. Like,
no. It's the heart on his sleeve. Yeah, his heart is fully on the sleeve. Yeah. But on a selfish note. That is so bad for the roads. He's such a big icon in our roads. You know what I mean? It's he's a big part of British, but it's like roads wise, it's like
even in the BSB paddock though, just as a personality.
He's a treasure, isn't he? You know what I mean?
It's just.
I know the roads in the latter years of his career have been the focal point, but he's capable of winning the British Championship. He very nearly did.
He would have been, if he got to round one, he would have been one of the guys that could win the championship, because he's always there. He's not always necessarily the guy, but he's always
consistent
there
as well.
He's consistently there, and last year, Booth Amos was really susceptible to a tip off. Stapleford happily took it up the road again. And Ben actually in the later part just hit his marks and went, and Lee was not far off that point. He was always there.
It's such a kick in the bollocks, isn't it? And as you say, to have gone through what he's gone through last year, and after
his shoulder is gone,
you start feeling like you're back where you need to be, and even just going out to Spain and doing a track day in the sun, you're escaping the shit cold weather here, aren't you, where your bones hurt, and he's like you say, you're healing as well. It's not.
I mean, we don't necessarily know the full. He's literally just put it up on his socials.
Yeah,
I've chatted to him a bit last week, and he's like his legs looks pretty bad, but.
He flew home as well. That's with it broken.
He was there on his own, and he got took to hospital. He casted it up. He discharged himself, drove to the airport. Or he drove to the hotel, booked himself a flight home, drove to the airport. They wouldn't let him on the plane, so he had to cut his cast down. So they let him on. He told them that he'd sprained it. Whittam picked him up on the other side, and he went to hospital and has had to have it operated on.
And by the way, in Lee's own words on his vlog, he says he was medically advised not to do that. He got a right bollocking.
On the other side.
You would.
Imagine the swelling when you got
that's why you can't wear a pot, because it's like...
it would cut it
Or
off.
blood pressure and everything like that. It's mental, isn't it? So even Lee's put it this way, when Lee Johnson's warning you on a medical ground, there's a bit of a red flag there.
It's a shame for his roads campaign as well, isn't it? Because he obviously missed the TT last year because of injury, and the year before he didn't have a fantastic ride because of the eye thing.
Sorry, what I was going to say is we don't know the full extent, so he might be able to come back.
Yeah, hopefully,
if that thing knits good, the only concern that I would have is not concern for me, but as in his body's still healing from what he's been through, so it's going to be harder for his body to continue. It's already stressed.
Yeah,
but just best wishes to Lee. To be fair, just
Grace is putting this episode out. Obviously, we're recording this on a Monday, so it's going out the following Monday. And Lee may have hopefully produced another vlog, and he's talking about his medical and his time of recovery. But let's face it, if anyone's going to get to the roads on that side of things, Northwest and TD, it's going to be Lee, isn't it? So
how long has he got? When's Northwest?
Northwest
not long.
Northwest isn't that far away.
6th to the 10th of May. 6th to the 11th of May.
What are we in now? What month are we in now?
And obviously he's going to put his testing in, get everything going.
8 weeks.
That's not happening, is it?
No, but I'm not being funny, but
come on, Dom, that's not happening.
It's going to be.
It's not the sort of thing to rush back from, is it?
He's got 8 to 10 weeks, yeah. And it's
TT though. Maybe.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but then you go there cold.
Without,
that's 12 weeks, and it's only 2 weeks.
You go there cold, and
you'll.
Nah, I don't think if he.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, but he'll be safe enough from the TD.
No. But he's going there he's not sharp. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
So you might as well not be going. Is what I'm saying.
You say that though.
I do say that. I mean that when I say that.
No, I know you do. No, but you're talking about being sharp. But then it's weird. The TD gets a hold of you. Even for Lee, and even if it's a year. It's once a year.
You got to remember.
That's another year. You're talking about boxing in.
Yeah, but he'd probably go do the Manx though, wouldn't he? That might be a realistic. That actually might work out well for him to do that.
But he's got a family to feed in the same breath. Talking about missing a year. What about he's got his profession as well.
Penny behind him. He's not poorly.
No, but you lived your life.
He didn't have Dory yet though.
No. But no.
But do you remember when McGuinness in 2018, he'd had his cage off, and they'd said, "Yeah, you're going to be good to ride," and then that was bottom of his tib and fib that snapped again on him, didn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot. Only Lee knows, doesn't he? But it's. Yeah. But I hope
think the next 6 weeks are going to be fairly good indication out there.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that puts it that well.
Well, okay, Stapleford for Supersport.
Stapleford.
I'm going to go, what's his name? Irwin.
I tell you what, Rhys Irwin with another year under his belt.
On the jigsaw.
See a bit more from him, yeah. I think.
Do you want to swap Kennedy now?
No. I'm loyal.
Do you want 50p, 50p?
No, I'm going. I'll tell you,
just Jack, if you're listening, if you cost me £1, I'm going to invoice you for
I'm going to put £2 on it, actually. £2 on it.
That's reason.
He's been out testing. And he's going out in scrubs, putting in serious lap times. He's confident.
Rhys
Irwin.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And keeping it he's been out the Burrows lads have been out in Spain. With Jack, because Jack's going into British on that side of things, and they've been padding up, but he's quiet, he's confident, and more importantly, he's got Piggy.
Oh, is Piggy working for him?
Piggy's working for him.
That's led us into you talking about yours, because we didn't talk about it last time, but your announcement is out that you're riding for Burrows this year.
Yeah, that was when did that come out?
We couldn't talk
about it. You're wearing the jacket today.
So it's now your turn to tell us your news. Yeah. I hate talking about mine. Now you can talk about yours.
Yeah. But we'll pick on Josh after this, so it's easy enough with his little go-kart. But
I can't wait until I've got to give him a lift in this van. I'm going to say, fucking walk.
Just put
I'll get there quicker.
I wasn't late because of the fucking van.
Yeah.
You weren't early because of the van.
To be honest, this is the thing. Talking about it, because as you know on the show, it's easier talking to us. But I think it's up to you lot to put your co-host training in the question and just ask me questions, because I'm just going to bottle up and
tell her what you've got planned for the roads primarily, because that's the focal point of your season. And I personally think you've got a very good opportunity for this year.
Yeah, no, it's so obviously I'm riding for the RK Burrows engineering team, based out of Northern Ireland, and I'm doing the Northwest, the TT, the Southern Armoy. I'm doing. Cheers.
This
I know, that's why I'm blocking it in so no one can see what's
all
going
of
on.
these events with Burrows.
Yeah, so Burrows. So it's my first year actually riding fully for a team. I've always, everything around that has been with me friends, my family, and it's you build a team together. and that side of things. But actually someone picking up the phone to you and going, Dominic, like, you know, can we have a chat? It was bloody intimidating, to be honest. Cause I'm like, my God, now I'm going to have to... I didn't know how to expect it, you know.
Do you find it hard kind of relinquishing some of that control when you've done everything yourself? It's always been the dog wagging the tail. Now you're in the position of you've got to kind of toe the line a little bit now, and things are organised for you that maybe aren't quite how you'd maybe want to do things in a certain order. Because is that a change for you or not?
It is. It's a case of, you know, it's like John's, you know, putting it out there. It's a case of like John's not paying me and I'm not paying John. I'm in an incredibly lucky position to be riding some seriously top machinery because John's got a BMW Superbike. He's got a Stocker and 2 R6s for the roads. But going into this year, actually riding for a team that I've always gone with my own bikes and everything like that, and I've never not normally done the Northwest. I've never done pre-season testing. I've never done any of that, and it's like bloody hell. But
you've just been to Spain, haven't you?
Well, I did Spain off my own back, because.
So you've also purchased a V2. We're like V2 twins right now.
I was waiting for this one.
We're like V2 buddies.
No, but the mad thing, like, you know what's mad?
Friends.
It's
The kind friend.
No, but like, by the way, that's a perfect opportunity on before he jumps in. Red friends, that's it.
Friend.
But I tell you what, he's got a lot to blame for this in a good way though, because obviously I've done a lot of homework on the Ducati. You know, I've rang like John McGuinness, who's been a massive help with you, and you know yourself, and what you were saying about the method and the madness is about you comparing it against the V4. Like, I'm riding inline 4s of the R6s and everything. Now, if I built an R6, first of all, it's a 12 grand engine if you go bang it up. A stock one's not quick enough, you know. And I would always try and compare that bike against John's, and it's almost counterproductive in that side. So the Ducati, I thought, you have to ride it like a big bike, and I can 100% confirm you have to ride it like a big bike. It's class. I tell you what, I was laughing my back eye off because I was on the phone to him before we went over to Spain. I'm going, Christian's going, it's slow. It's slow because obviously he's so used to riding super bikes, it's going slow. And
he says that about everything.
No, but this is the thing. It makes you think how quick that motocross is, mind.
Yeah, I know.
You know that he's right. You know what I mean? It's like bloody hell. So he's like, it's slow. So anyway, so I went to Spain with a friend of mine called Andy Hornby, and even, you know, shortening the story, he is 100% right. So we jumped in a van, we got a DFDS ferry over for like 90 quid. Like, because there's like a race support package. Not many people know that. If you go on DFDS, there's a race support package to go over in Spain.
Didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
No, like, that's the thing. So Andy Hornby's like 42 Racing. He's a good mate of mine. And so we travelled down like 22 hours from, like, I had to drive down Exeter, and we're actually doing a vlog of it, so like Grace can put that together. We'll put that up and everyone can view it. But it was a long-winded story because I went to Northern Ireland. I bought this bike from a lad called, I've got him in my phone, it's Lee Ducati, but it's Lee McGaff. He owned this bike, and it's got North Coast Pizza written all over it. It's green and yellow, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know what? I saw it, fell in love with it, and I went, I need this in my life. And this is why I'm no good at getting interviewed, because I just jump from story to story. But I know you can tell. I know you can tell. But it's so we got the bike and went down, and it had these Tell Me No Noni pipes on. How do you pronounce that brand properly, by the way?
Tell me no.
Tell me no. I think that, no, there's a lad called Nick, mate. Honestly, I was on the phone to Will. And I was just like, I still can't pronounce this brand. And I rang up several dynos because like Lee, who had the Akroyd pipe system, which you've got, which is stock, and it came with these Tell Me No Noni pipes. And I couldn't pronounce the brand.
They kept saying, no, you got the wrong number, mate.
They're the non-homologated ones.
No, the British legal.
I've got the non-homologated
right,
ones.
got you.
Yeah, so
all I've got is an end can.
Oh, the standard,
with the standard links and headers.
The cut bike one, yeah, got you.
So
tri-options bike.
I'm going to say it one more time. Tell Me No Noni pipes. They're like $4,000 for the set, and the bike was advertised with it, but it wasn't fueled up or anything like that. And I'm going, bloody hell. So I got it back on my bench. And then between this, I got the offer from Andy Homey going, I'm going down to Spain, come along with me, I'll get you some track time before the season gets going with John kind of thing. I'm like, bloody hell. Because I've been given this opportunity, I didn't want to ride for a top team, you know what I mean, top privateer team, without being prepared myself. You know what I mean? Because there's a huge logistic exercise. You know, they're in Northern Ireland. Like, we're over here, and like basically what John and Jack have done is chucked Jack's bikes in to go over to Spain. They're just flying in and out. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I've got to pay my way within the team. I've got to work to earn money to do that, so I can't keep jumping back and forth for them. Sheer logistics. So, bought this bike within a week and a half, and with the Tell Me No Noni pipes, it was just like, I'm thinking, oh fucking hell, I'm never going to get this on any tracks at home or anything like that, and I don't know what the fueling is. So I rang round every like dyno, like locally, and there's a lad called Nick from All Speeds in Scarborough. I mean, he ran Mike Brown at Scarborough. He's only a young lad. He's doing the Manx Grand Prix for the first time, but you could eat a meal off the floor of the place. It's immaculate. I mean, it's like an operation theatre.
Nice.
And so I rang him up, and he was explaining loads about this bike, and I said, it's got these pipes, and I can't bloody pronounce them. He goes, is it these I'm like, it is. I can't pronounce it, you can't. You know, when I was growing up, he goes, I called them Tell Me No Nonies, and it's just welded into my mind now. So there's me.
Hashtag the Wish version.
The Wish version, honestly. So the mad thing is, right, I got in such a rhythm of talking about these exhaust pipes in this way, and I'm going, fucking, I'm ringing Chrissy. He can ride a bike, but he knows nothing about bikes.
I've learned that.
Oh, mate, you're like that. What do you make of that? I don't know. And you're like, oh, you are such a Chrissy was the exact fucking same.
Oh, he was dangerous with the
mate, I'm surprised he could drive a van. You know, he could race a bike at a Series top level, but if you asked him to do anything, I haven't a clue. Same with him. He could fly the Starship Enterprise, but he wouldn't know what a button does. But I can get you there, son, but I don't know how. It's unreal. So I'm like, right, ringing round, and I thought, oh, right, I'm going to have to put my big boy pants on here and ring Wilf, and got on the phone to Wilf. And bear in mind, I had such a rhythm of saying,
No,
I couldn't do it now. So, well, I've got these Tell Me No Noni pipes on, and I just went, what have I done? like Will just being as calm as he is, like, right, or you know what I mean, kind of thing. And got talking about him and what the bike would need to turn it into a British regulation and everything like that. And got asking about ABS pumps and cancellations and like setup. And Wilf, you know, as busy as he is, he was very, very, like, he took loads of time out for us just to have the chat on the phone and get me in the point and direction. But so by the time I got this all sorted, and I agreed to do the Dan Cooper Calafat Day, so it's 3 days on track in Spain, and it equated to it was 800. I paid 880 quid, but like you were saying, it's the first time I've ever done Spain. Well, I tell a lie. Last year, Alan Garner took me down with the OMG Racing lads, put me in the unit, in their race wagon, went down. But my BM at the time, the electronics, the Motec dash went down. I only got 7 laps. So I was like, fucking hell. So doing this all off my own back, you know, like financially sharing it with Andy, it was just like, we did it wrong. I'll be honest with you, we did it wrong. The adventure, the crack, the laugh, everything.
Would you have done the same with what Christian said? Would you have just sent the bike out? Yeah.
100%. And but the mad thing is, like, I don't know.
The driving out thing works. You've got to do enough days
to benefit.
To benefit. Like, we left the bike out there, and that would have worked.
If you'd have flown
doing the days.
Yeah.
As much as doing more days is more expensive, it's more cost effective.
100%. But see, John and Jack are doing that, and a load of like Sweeney's doing that. You can put your bikes in storage and everything. Like,
there's places to leave your bikes. And stuff like that.
But man, it's like everyone seems more on the pace this year. As far as like people are going out in December, January, you know, there seems to be more of a high.
Well, I think that is an industry. I think it's like quite a popular thing now. Track day abroad is like a big thing.
There's more companies doing it, isn't there? Yeah. It's not before 5-6 years ago. It wasn't that accessible. There wasn't that many people.
I think a lot of people are doing this to an alternative to club racing, to be honest. I think a lot of people
you know what? Actually, it's a good point, but actually taking aside the fact that me and Dom decided we've done it wrong because of what we did or how many days we did, they're actually really cost effective.
Yeah.
Like, you can go and do 4 days on track at Cartagena. I did a no limits day. I paid the normal price for it, and it was including the hotel was something like, without the bike transport, 450 quid or something.
Yeah, which is
but even
like 3 nights in a hotel, 4 days on track.
Yeah,
like I could probably get a day and a half at Brands. Not even it for that. You know, like.
No. I totally agree with that. But like, I think the way we did it, you know, jumping it like for the limit. I went down for a 3-day, but Andy took down a couple of classic bikes, and I did loads of no noise testing. Like, you could run around without a belly pan, and like the Dan Cooper track days, like, you know, I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, did you have to ride it without a belly pan for that exhaust?
Yeah, for the exhaust, but then I actually made a belly pan for it.
of course, because you would have had,
So it's different.
We've been talking
to
Ducatis all week, so this is all making sense now.
Also, no, I had.
We've got a plan.
Oh, mate, but
I'll tell you about the plan shortly.
But I didn't want to turn up at the track and then something happened to my bike. But bearing in mind, I've grown up working on my own bikes, and like you're talking about, like releasing that.
Yeah.
Releasing that, because I've always been hands like me and Piggy. Like
it's like working for yourself and then saying, with the greatest respect to what you're doing, to who you're doing it for. Sorry, it's like working for yourself and then saying you've got to go and work for a boss.
Aye.
It's like it's difficult,
but it's a challenge I'm really looking forward to. But what I'm worried about is upsetting the apple cart. With Piggy, you know what I mean? He's my mate, and Brownie, you know what I mean? Like, them two are shit hot mechanics, and Brownie's like my best mate in the world. And he's...
great. Make us all feel great.
We're just acquaintances.
You are, you're colleagues now, you know what I mean?
Colleagues.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
No, I said about working for a boss.
That is worse, isn't it?
Howard, don't be like that. But no, but I tell you what, no, but the man, no, really hard. No, but I tell you what, but even getting a bit too soft on you. But like Browning's the first person who's ever invested in us. You know what I mean? We went harvest on the BM. You know, no one's ever gone, Dominic.
There's some money.
Son. You know what I mean?
He's forgetting that drum of fuel I bought him at the start of last year.
We weren't allowed to mention that.
I know we weren't allowed to mention because I didn't actually pay for it. So
but now you top job, so
if you're listening.
No, but like all joking aside, you know what I mean? Of course, you're my best friends. God, I'm getting out of that ditch there. But like Brownie is the first person who's invested in this, and when I got the offer, you know, said John Burroughs been on the phone, and it was just like, you know, I told Piggy, I told Brownie, I told the accountants, you know what I mean? It was like, bloody hell. But what's weird is it's like, you know, that control element. I'm learning a lot because I'm having to let go of a lot of things.
Let things happen to you.
You know what I mean? It's like I've always been on this like little path by myself. You know what I mean? And like, I've had people supporting this, and it's.
You need to embrace that though, because I know the stress that goes into preparing for the TT when you're doing it on your own is fucking biblical, and it's 12 months of build up. It just consumes your whole life. And I remember speaking to Gaz Johnson, I think it was on the run up to last year before his crash. And I just thought, God, I don't miss that. You know, he's terracing about everywhere. He had so much shit to
I remember what you were like, yeah.
And I just think, like, you now need to spin it into a positive, which is you don't have that. You can relinquish that, focus on doing the riding that you can do with your bike and enjoy the fact that you can turn up there with a team that you know those bikes are going to be.
I was just going to say that's probably the main thing. Like, it's not that you're turning up with a team that's kind of there or thereabouts. You're turning up with a team that's a proven track record.
Yeah, there's no question mark.
There isn't a question mark.
It's a lovely position to be in.
Some teams, they might have a bit of a question mark, and you might want to cast an eye over stuff because you're not 100%.
Yeah.
But like with the Burroughs lot, you can be like, do you know what?
I know everything's
Switch
done.
my brain just into riding mode.
And John's been there and done it as well, hasn't he? He was a doer, you know.
Yeah,
it's
100%. It's definitely going to be. But I like doing that.
What, you like the stress?
That's how people function.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, but I've done it. Like when I was on, I know I was taking the piss before, but it's just like that. But you're considerably faster than me. But I'm like, how does he not know that? You know, like I've stripped my own bikes. I've done everything, and like my point prior is, I don't want to upset the apple cart, and I'm not far from intending to do that. But when these lads have done such a good job for such a long time, and bearing in mind I've competed against them for the last 5 years. You know what I mean? It's been me against the Burrows. Not that, you know, that's not how it really works in roads, but you know, I've always been.
They've been competitors.
Yeah, and it's mad because like John has a good set, and the lads, and I've raced for them before, and I've won. I was going to say
you're familiar with them, aren't you? You have ridden the bikes before.
They're mint crap, but then it's weird. It's just like you want to be in there, and it's a different challenge. It's going to be a different challenge for me this year because like.
When's your first outing then?
Cookstown.
Right. When's that?
End of April, a couple of weeks before. So it's like we're not getting, like I say, it's the logistic element. So I'm not getting the time on the bikes, but it's like that's why I'm trying to reinvest myself in it's weird. I feel like I'm not being. I feel like I'm being quite downplaying this. It's just I'm excited and I'm nervous and all that, and it's something I've always dreamt of having. You know, it's like riding for a top team, and the adrenaline has shifted into I've got to make this work.
Well, you're doing the right things by focusing on yourself, aren't you? But getting a bike and going to Spain and preparing yourself.
Investment.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think can't knock your commitment for that.
But it's mad, it's like, because I've lost a lot of sponsors. Because what's mad, you know what I hate? You know, that's one thing I have noticed is people, even with this show and stuff, like, oh, well, you've got this. You know what people see on the outside? Oh, you've got this. You must be all right. It's actually, hold on, no. Because I've always been hand to mouth in racing, and I think every club racing, every lad is in that element. No one comes up and goes, right, Dominic, there's a lump of money and you can plan a season. I've always been looking at someone going, there's 200 quid, 300 quid, and I've like got the bomb squad. But then, you know, say I get like 10 members, like mint, but then like throughout the season you get like a couple more and a couple more, but there's never a budget as such.
Yeah, you don't have buckets of money to go and
no, it's all hand them out. Someone going, oh, there you go, I've had a good month and everything, I've got in some credible people, but it's always been. And that's the worry, because obviously I've got to commit to a full season, when that control element was get to the TT and everything after that's a bonus.
Yeah.
And I've had sponsors.
Is that how you would always structure your year then?
100%.
Just get yourself there.
I did. So you've got a different pressure this year?
Really? Well, it's mad because like I've had sponsors.
Being able to finance yourself to do the full season.
I've had sponsors. We were talking about like, you know, how do you go about getting sponsors? But it's such a different thing because people come
8:30 this morning. He's in a tree. I'm on the ground. We're
chatting about sponsorship. You know what I mean? That's as you so what do you mean of that? The neighbours, what the fuck are these doing? But like it's mad because people come and go.
Shouting out the window and get a job.
what do you think I'm in? No, but it's mad though, and I've got it.
That's why I was late, boys, because I fucking got one.
blah.
Just saying. Nobody brought anything up, Josh. Wow.
No, but like it's but that's going to be the interesting having to.
By the way, have you plugged your van in?
No, I haven't, because the studio's plugged in.
I just want to make sure you can get home.
Don't worry, there's a services en route. I've got enough charge to get home. Don't worry.
Washington.
No, there's a charge around the valley. Anyway, carry on.
True story. When he had his pole start, he had to charge between here and going home, which is like.
It's because I was running. No, it's because I was running late for that as well. Anyway, boys,
and it's the best car he's ever driven.
Yeah,
it's the best car he's ever driven.
I never said it was the most efficient.
Anyway, sorry, Damo.
Sorry.
Oh no. It's I think every rider goes through that. You know, it's like because we were talking about sponsors have come and gone from you. Sponsors come and gone from you, and it's weird, isn't it?
It's the hardest year I've ever had for personal sponsors, but I think it's just the nature of the world at the moment.
But then, you know, it's mad. On the other side of things, money, is it because teams are like wising up, and is the world wising up? There's always money. Money circulates.
No,
you know,
is it disposable? And there's a whole lot of things. There's a lot of businesses that are struggling at the moment.
I found
and sponsorship is such a. I'm so super grateful for the personals that I do have, and when I lose them, I'm not sad about it in terms of like I'm more grateful. Like, okay, you did it for when you could, and then it's sponsorship. Everyone that does it is like they have their own reasoning, and it tends to be not for I want to get my brand seen or I want to get that, because that's such a small part of it.
No, exactly, 100%.
It's like I like this guy.
I want to see him.
I want to help him out. You know
what? Bikes. I want to be involved.
I've got a bit of disposable.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
I can write it off against people, and I'll be involved. I get to go in the garage, or I get to do whatever, or
that's it.
Paying for experience, aren't there? Sometimes,
yeah, or even just to be able to stand trackside and go, I help him out, or whatever it is. It's the experience.
But you know as well, it's nice.
Well, this year's the hardest for sure that I've ever had.
Yeah,
I think I've got to give a little shout out to an avid listener of the pod, Wazza at Gear Change in Scunthorpe. Absolute legend. Got in touch with me. He sorted me out with my gloves this year, and just a top bloke. And you know, he can't sponsor my whole season, not at all, but just people stepping in and doing what they can to be a part of it.
Amazing,
yeah. So big thank you to Wazza, because you know, everything costs, doesn't it?
100%.
You know, every time you want to get kitted out with anything,
the cost of kit is
it's ridiculous.
It's moved on so much. Like, I've got a shock recently looking at the price of kit, and even just like. Yeah, trying to get stuff together is insane.
But that's how you have to do it, don't you? You have to take little bits where you can, and when you get it, you're just appreciative of it, giving them as much back as you possibly can. But my financial sponsors from a couple of years ago, they've sold their businesses and they're not involved anymore. So, like you say, they never did it for... They didn't say, all right, well, I'm going to put 10 grand in and I'm going to make 20 grand back out of this.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You know, it was they want to be involved, they love bikes, and they want to be a part of it. And as you say, you kind of have to, it's bittersweet, isn't it? You're grateful that somebody will put their hand in their pocket.
Oh, mate, I think...
But when they go,
But some of the big commercial partners for teams and stuff like that is a genuine reality for them to do expect a return on what they do. But it's a different thing. Like we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, personal sponsor and team sponsor
in
is
a
quite
commercial
different.
sponsor.
And yes, there is. Sorry, I downplayed it perhaps a little.
No, you're right. No, I know what you're saying.
There is a tangible and quite easy way to do it. The team Motorpedo actually had a.
They had that company, didn't they?
They had a company come on and say what is the actual value of the sponsors on board that bike. So they basically took how long each logo was viewed for.
Did they?
This
how
was
much
really
TV
good.
time and what each space was worth. And actually, it was what was interesting from what I saw. I'm not going to divulge too much, but was which locations, some that you might think would be less worthwhile, less valuable, were really valuable.
Like the underside of the belly pan or something like that.
Yeah. And other things were like pretty useless that you'd think that's prominent, but actually it wasn't.
Did they do it from a static point in the garage and then say, so you walk up to it and you think where the wing mirrors are?
It was purely TV time.
Yeah, how many times it was seen on TV and by how many people?
A company watched every minute of Eurosport footage for the full season, and they counted up every minute that you could read each logo on the bike or the rider.
Wow.
And then they cross-referenced that with the amount of viewers for that show, and they cross-referenced that with how much it would cost per second for an advert in that show. So it is actually quite a simple equation. It's just a lot.
Once you understand that audience, it's the same as saying I'm going to do a television advert. It's a lot easier to work the television.
And then you can actually say like a cap sponsor, which you might sell for, let's just pick a figure, let's say $5,000. Actually, that year was worth something like 60.
Right.
If you wanted.
This is interesting.
Because that was like grid interviews, which is where you'll see that sort of logo, and that was maybe 10 minutes for the full year. And if you wanted 10 minutes of adverts for the full year, it was
$60,000. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you can actually go to a sponsor and you go, gosh, actually there is a tangible value. The reality is it's not quite that big because it's all mingled in with lots of other logos, and your eyes aren't focused on that and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, there is. I didn't mean to downplay it so much, but yeah. No. Normally with personal sponsors, from what I found, it's friends or friends of friends that have done well for themselves, and they go, "I'm into that." Or
they've got a personal interest in you and what you're doing is the general.
It's like, well, RK is Charlotte Richardson, and she's like she sponsors John at the Burrows, but she's part of the family. You know what I mean? She's come round, having cups, and it's just like, you know what, this is.
You need that.
You need the sport. At the end of the day, John is a family man, Northern Ireland, self-made, with an engineering firm with his friends. He's a privateer team, putting out a series of competitive team, and everything relies on sponsors. We started this show off, if we didn't have sponsors, this show wouldn't be out there. And it's like,
but
it's mental, isn't it?
Just actually I was going to go back to the team thing, that the teams are funded in part by sponsors, but in BSB this year, I think we've got all but one team is propped up by the team owners.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're
let's not think that this is a business where team owners are going away with a wad of cash. It's quite the opposite. So but
you do know the only way to make money out of racing, they say, don't you?
To make a little bit of money out of racing.
How to make £1 million out of racing.
How to make a small fortune.
Yeah, start with two.
But that's the thing though. It's like they are the facts.
The owners, the team owners in racing, are sponsoring themselves in a big way.
Yeah.
So we can't forget that as well. So I think it's quite important.
No, even going. But then passionate people are so bloody crucial.
That's what keeps it going.
Because I remember at the TD beginning, at the end of practice week, some bloke, he didn't even introduce himself. I'd be able to point him out in a crowd if I saw him, but never got a name. Just came and went, 200 quid. Do you know it's 420 quid for a set of tyres, man. It's like, I got my facts wrong, by the way, Joe. We're doing a Kirkiston test on the. I'm looking at you because
18th and 19th.
So we'll talk about your plans in a second as well. But 18th, so. But like I say, John's covering his side, and I've got to cover, my tyres fueling the crash damage element. It's I've got to bring my side of the table on that, and it's I'm excited, and I probably don't sound as excited as I should be.
There's a responsibility, right? Like
there is, and it's like, but I want to move up the ladder, and can I afford to move up the ladder myself? No, you know what I mean? And do I want to race for a top team? Yes, it's here now, and you're like, fucking hell, right, I've got to
I'm excited to see you on the superbike primarily, to be honest.
I've never ridden a superbike around the TT. I've ridden stocks. I've never ridden a superbike. You know what I mean? So it's like fucking.
It's a mega opportunity. It's good.
It is. And I'm proper excited about it, but I don't.
And he has the lap record at Kirkiston, so just saying.
Mm-hmm.
There you are.
Unofficial.
On a BMW.
Yeah, don't tell me the time, please. Don't. I love
that little place. It's cool. You'll enjoy it.
No, I haven't been. No, I have. Have I? Oh, bollocks, I don't know.
Fantastic.
But no, I am proper looking forward to it, like, and I am actually looking, there's no pressure coming from the team. There is no pressure coming from the team, but there is pressure.
Yeah, but you put it on yourself, don't you?
Of course you do.
You've got the tools now, so.
I'm actually enjoying that side of it, you know, and it's different, it's exciting, and you know what, I've just got to make the best of it. And in that in itself is worrying, because I want to go as high as I can race, and I want to win. It's weird, you know, the psychological element. You know, you're talking about, like, you know, you got like Sam and Alex Lowe's going, you know, I can't be world champion. You know what I mean? I can't do this, and I think every rider has that to a point. But it's that's why probably I'm stuttering my words, because I shouldn't be where I am now.
Why?
Mate,
that's an interesting thing to say. Where do you think your level is at? What do you think you can achieve? If you sat on Dean Harrison's bike, Hickman's bike,
I don't know, and that's what what I like.
But that excites you?
No, because mate, I like.
You want to win TTs, don't you?
No, but I never ever. I don't.
That's not being big-headed to say it. It's
it's interesting, because like when I first ever did my first ever track day, I first got on a bike at 21. I bought a bike. I went, oh man, you know, I'd like to try racing one day. I grew up with racing my father, but never hasn't put money into it. I thought
you set out, and it was never the intention. I understand what you're saying.
There's no end of the I must get there. There's none of that with me. Like really none of that. It's like, right, you know, I went like track days and went, oh yes, I'd like to give racing a go. Did my first club meeting, went, oh that's amazing. Oh look, if I get to a Manx, that's me. And I got to a Manx, and I'm like, my God, you know, and then I'll never get to a TD. Got to a TD, you know what I mean? And like first race result was like 48th, and I just lost my shit. I was like, fucking hell, 48th. I'll never ever get any of the 30s. You know, like 30th place, got in the 30th places, and then 2015, and then you're like, and that's why I did lose my shit a bit on that 130. But in marginal terms against the sport, it's not that.
It's an elusive club.
It is, but it's weird, because then you got them, you know, the elite and that side of things. But I'm learning more. But then every time it's, you know, you get to that point going, bloody hell, you pinch yourself. But then what I enjoy is not knowing where it could go. But you've got to work harder and harder. You know, the higher you climb, the sharper the knives. Yeah. And the whole thing is a game. Because the higher you climb, the more politics, the more bullshit, the more this, the more that. And you can either let that sicken you, or you could just swim with the sharks, can't you? And you go, right, get stuck in, keep driving. And I don't, like, if I win a TT, I was sitting second place at, like, you know, the TT this year. You know what I mean? My bike broke down. There were a lot of bike breaks. You've got to first, you must finish. But it's mad. Like, I'd rather.
I've never willed someone to slow down so much in my life. Honestly, I was a few pints deep by this point, and we were watching the big screen, and he's like, oh, he's fourth, third. Oh, mate, he's second. Slow down, just get to the end, and then the thing broke down.
It's mad. I think my biggest, I know I won the race, but you know that classic TT. When I won the 350 race, Lee Johnson was in that race, and Jamie Coward was in that race, and you know there's only 5 of us ever have done a 104 on a bike that's 40 brake horsepower, and you just think, you sit there and go, you know, I get a taste of it, and I really hope, you know, like whatever super tool we get, I hope it lines up, because I feel like, you know, if I'm going to try, you know.
Do you feel like that's your best chance of a win at the TT?
I do, because I think it's, you know, it's a lot more corner heavy, you know, it's a bit more like, you know, with the classic bikes and everything on that side of things, but all this is like throwing up a massive challenge this year, and it's like you sit there and go, shit, how am I going to process this? It's like, being brute and honest with you, I don't think I'm getting given a superbike. The superbike's not the answer for me to do 135s around the TD.
It's not a stocker.
Nah, but see, my argument behind that is everyone who's gone fast on a stocker is because they've had a superbike. Every time I've got on my stocker, I've gone, fuck me, that's quick. But then you get on your 600, because it's slower, you ride it harder. You've been there, you've done that. You feel safer, you're planted, you know what I mean? Then
you've got time to roll a fag, haven't you? It's it's the weirdest feeling in the world. You get off the big bike and you start acclimatising to it, don't you? Yeah. And then you get back in your 600 and you just think, God, I've got so much time. I've got so much time to think.
You're processing it, you're looking curves, you're looking tarmac joints, you're actually doing that. But, you know, lads who have jumped off the superbikes after, I've never ridden one, no nothing, and I want to spend most of my time on that. But what I'm hoping for is getting off the superbike and getting on the stocker and going.
There's a lot of lads that have jumped on the superbike and gone, this is too hard, it's too stiff, it's too much. I'll go just as fast on my stocker. And they're more comfortable on the stocker. And I don't think it's necessarily the speed, but...
Can I say something really controversial?
Absolutely.
I think that's a difference between good riders and great riders.
Right.
Superbikes are faster than super stock bikes when you can ride them properly.
100%, but you got Hickman doing a 36 comfortably on a stocker.
Thank you.
And 35s on a superbike. But he wins the race.
It's easier to do it on a super stock bike.
No. But this is the thing. But because he's hopping off a bike that he gets on a stocker the first night, using Hickman as an example. Same with Dunlop, same with Harrison. You know, they get on the stocker. I can ride that. And they're getting on something that is just barking at them, crying at them, and
do you not just think that it's
hard, aren't they?
But I've never ridden one, but I'm like,
but like if you took BSB for example, if the standard swinging arm was better than the kit one they used, they would use it.
Compare BSB.
No, that's what I'm saying. So do you not just think the super stock bike is more suited to the environment of the road racing because the sheer speed of them now?
Not just that. I think it was more chance that Hickman went a bit quicker on the stocker
because he had
not because he'd ridden the superbike or anything, but because if he genuinely believed, or Dean believed, or MD believed that the stocker was quicker, they would race the stocker in the superbike class. So they clearly don't think that because they still race the superbike.
But then.
Because they know the ultimate.
Well, look at Brooks. Brooks rode it in both, didn't he?
But I do 100% agree that I think there is certainly a much smaller group of riders that can
ride a superbike around that. But
in any form.
I wasn't necessarily saying just the TT.
No, but I agree that we see in BSB so many riders that yo-yo between super stock and superbike because.
The difference.
There is a difference.
Oh, but
in fact, I spoke about earlier, didn't I? The difference when I went from V4S to my superbike.
Yeah. But the window's like that small in comparison to
crazy.
that.
Wasn't Linfoot's times in stock? They would have put him like second row
in some places.
A few rounds this year, weren't they? Yeah.
I tell you what,
and this is not being down to Dan, but if you asked him if you took him on a superbike, he probably realises he wouldn't be doing those times on a superbike.
Yeah.
Like the last sector at Silverstone, I'm going to go. I'm a bit of a lap time freak in terms of like looking at them. But Dan,
did you have the volume on?
No,
it's a quiet room.
The volume's always turned up in my head. But yeah, the last sector at Silverstone, Dan would have been the quickest of anyone in any class by far on his stocker. But that's a combination of having probably a bit of TC, a more compliant chassis.
Yeah.
In a very certain part of the track, it was quicker and better. Just quickly, but go back to it. But Franco Bourne jumped from doing times that was probably quicker on a stocker, and for most of the season when he jumped on a superbike, went slower.
The whole animals, they're just animals.
They're just an animal. They're just very different to find that feeling. It's a bit like jumping from tyre to tyre. I said about it before with going from Pirelli to Bridgestone or Pirelli to something else. You just go, where's the feel? And when you don't know where the feel is, you don't know how hard to push. And when something's on a knife edge, then
you might jump on this thing and be like,
but that's why I'm so lucky, because at the end of the day, he's not just providing a stocker; he's providing
that superbike.
A superbike.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
you might find you can refine it more to what you want it to be.
You know, he's putting the tools on the table. You know what I mean? I'm bloody lucky. At the end of the day, I'm lucky. Because John.
Oh, it's a good do, isn't it?
It's like John knows I can't pay for rides or anything like that. You know, that's the situation. You know what I mean? If I drop the sponsors out, I'm always looking for some. You know?
With the greatest respect.
Oh, is that where you're going with that?
I was trying to big you up as well, but you kept shutting me down. You know, so it's we're all looking for sponsors.
With the greatest respect, though, Dom, I would say your performance last year's earned you the seat.
Yeah.
You did 130
Which is obviously why he's got it.
Yeah. You did 130 mile an hour lap. There's like 10 people that have done that?
No, 21.
But still, you've had an opportunity because of what you've
21
done,
people have
so.
done 130. No, it's less than that.
No, I think that's right.
I think you're wrong. I'm gonna come we'll check. Grace, you can check that stat. Put it in.
Put a green tick when I'm
Put
right.
a green tick just here.
They are happy days. No, but it's I'm very lucky, really excited, and it's going to be a steep learning curve, and roll with the punches.
Class.
Well, somewhere hidden in that, Josh said he was looking at the price of kit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Joshua, come on.
Joshua, the retired person, why are you looking at the price of
Kit's
kit?
expensive, we'll just say that.
In fact, I got a random email. Can you get for me? Hi, mate. Hi, mate.
He emails you.
Hi, mate. How's things?
He emails you.
No, he didn't actually.
To be fair to Christian, the most efficient person in the world. I asked him a question, and literally 5 minutes later, he'd done the email and got the answer, and I was like, oh, fuck. If I get my wallet out. No, I was asking him for some help with getting some kit, basically. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some racing this year. So I had a couple of things kind of on the boil at the end of last year, and then just didn't really think it was going to happen as much as I wanted it to, and sort of left it over the winter, really, and just, been sort of nagging everyone and trying to make something happen. And the one thing that is definitely going to happen is I'm going to be doing some road racing for a Northern Irish-based team.
Our little boy's becoming a man, Joe.
He's going to put his big white pants on.
Yeah, so
Just me to go.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too busy modelling turtlenecks, you son. Yeah, you just stay over there.
By the way, you know that big. Does anyone still do that thing? You know, if you go into a toilet and you do little boy wheeze, do you do that?
Pull your pants down the
You pull your
ankles.
pants down. to the
Usually on a
ankles.
stag do that.
It's
Who's
so
going to do
funny,
a little
isn't
my way? You've got an excuse to teach your little lad how to do them as well, haven't you?
I bet he doesn't
I
go
love
in the
it.
cubicle to do it either. Does he just straight in
You
there?
just straight in, just like down to the ankles. It's so funny. Do it next time.
Oh, Christian's going to get arrested.
Again.
Sorry, right.
Christian's been signed, but on a different reason this time. Class.
So going to be, looking forward to doing that. So with the Northern Irish-based team, it's a guy called Jerry Parker on Parker Transport, Supersport, Yamaha R6. Absolute, my dealings with them so far have been absolutely fantastic. They seem like a great bunch of guys. Just really like proper passion for the sport. Basically wants to give someone an opportunity. He's running... I'm going to get the name wrong. Jamie Quingle, is that right?
Yes, Isle of Man lad.
Yes.
New, TT.
He's running him at the TT.
Brilliant.
And he's like invested in some extra bikes and stuff like that. And we got in touch through, got to say a big thanks to Derek McLaughlin, who's one of the guys I worked with at Martrain. He's obviously still like a very good mechanic, works for Martrain still. And he's been around the sport a long time. And he kind of set the whole deal up, really. And so we're going to be doing Scarborough and the Cookstown, and we're going to be doing the Northwest, hopefully. I haven't officially got an entry for that sorted yet. Like I've got the 2 other road races sorted, but we want to be at the Northwest. It's not 100% done. Hopefully that gets sorted in the next couple of days, basically, so I can get out and start getting involved in that. But yeah, like really, really looking forward to that. Jerry in particular has been absolutely fantastic with us, and just said like wants to see his bike out there. It's a proper thing, and there's no pressure to do anything silly. He wants it to be safe. Like
He knows you haven't done road racing before.
Yeah, as an introduction into road racing, like couldn't ask for anything more, really. So I'm incredibly grateful to him. We're looking at maybe doing a couple of wildcards in BSB, but we haven't made any plans to do anything with that yet. So looking at that later in the year, maybe. The other thing, go on, sorry.
How do you feel coming back?
I'm excited, but I've been wanting to do it for about a year now. Well, longer, really. I didn't stop racing because I wanted to. It was just because, like, realistically, I had to. Financially, for other things that were going on. And I've never really left because I've been around in the paddock every year since. I've never had a year away, really. I think I had like half a season where I didn't go at all.
Does the roads... obviously you want to go and do the roads. Is this direction change that you've always wanted to do, or is it something where the opportunity sort of landed and you think, oh fuck it, let's go get stuck here?
I'll tell you, really, it came through riding bikes on the road. So I'd never rode bikes on the road, stopped racing, and a year or so after started going touring with my dad and a couple of his mates, and we went to Ireland and rode around the northwest, and I was like,
it's a bit of me, this.
Fuck me, I need to do this. Yeah. And then thought about it, and it was difficult really, because like you've had a couple of years out and stuff, so trying to put something together, just never, for whatever reason, couldn't make anything happen. Went to the TT with Dom last year, absolutely loved that, and just thought I really want to do this, and yeah, just kind of pursued it from there really.
So TD is on the cards for you at some point
in the future. Well, let's see how we get on first. Well, I don't want to do anything ridiculous, but I don't think I'll ever go on to win TTs or anything like that. Like, it's not this, I don't think I'll ever go to that, but
hey, never say never.
But I would still like to go short circuit racing really as well, so I would love to go back to the British Championship, and I'm trying to do something. To be fair, I've got to give a shout out to Kev Stevenson, who's running the official Yamaha team in the sport bike category, this new sport bike category on the R7s. Actually tested his bike at the end of last year, and got on really well with it. But there's basically a ride there, but a few changes last minute from a sponsorship perspective sort of meant that it hasn't got off the ground. So it's still an option, but yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult really. So I can't really see that moving forward at the minute. So my plan really is to do these road races and at the start of the season, and go from there really. But my idea is I would like to get back to doing some British Championship racing really.
Class.
So yeah, excited.
Good man. Good man. Oh, I tell you what, my eyes lit up when you said Yamaha. You need to make an apology.
Why?
Remember the Top Rack episode? And you actually, what's her name? Gorgeous blonde thing. She got you the Top Rack.
Oh, Megan.
Megan, thank you. There, we'll get Megan. No, the best thing is, I think it's Megan's mother that does the app for North Coast Pizza.
They do Causeway Eats, isn't it?
Causeway Eats. So I had to give them a shout out, and then I was getting told off about Megan yet again. So it's
basically we do owe Megan a massive shout out. So Megan and her family really are responsible for getting Top Rack on the pod at the time, and it kind of got overlooked a little bit at the time because of the sort of excitement of getting
the busyness of getting it done.
Yeah, there was a lot going on and stuff, but yeah, we're massively grateful to Megan and Tracy, and I'm going to forget her brother's name now.
Darren.
That's
well
it.
Done.
Yeah.
Cast day is that.
Yeah, so they put all
the family well.
You know that.
Yeah, they put all that together, and it was really great. And I've heard good things about Causeway Eats. I haven't used it yet because I haven't been over there, but I've heard good things about it.
Well, I've got free pizzas for life. When I bought this Ducati.
Right, I see.
So it's the chassis.
And does this pizza restaurant feature on that app? Does it?
Oh, 100%. The bike looks quite good. I've done all my testing with the North Coast Pizza. I've had to buy a bike off him to just keep the sticker kit. Like, he's not sponsoring us, but I went in. I went, right, son. We're gonna have to come up with a deal here. You know, I'm buying this bike off you. I want to be. Yeah, no bother. And I went in with a camera and went, you have to say it on camera for legal reasons. You know what I mean? So you can show all your stuff. You can show them all. But they're just on the road from the northwest. So basically, I just hope they just get overloaded. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try and eat. And that bike was worth a fair bit of money. So I'm going to try and get that back in pizzas. That's the dream.
Glass.
Also, sorry to interrupt, but the idea is I'm going to raffle the bike off. So me and Grace are going to raffle the Ducati off.
At the end of the season?
Well, maybe after the TT.
Okay.
Because at the moment, I'm trying to invest in myself. So I've bought the bike, I've done all this. So the idea is we're going to do a raffle. So me and Grace come up with an idea. So the money gets put back in the pot to keep the show running. And if we don't sell the right amount of number of tickets, we're just going to do a cash prize.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
So, it's keep your finger on the pulse, and spread the word, and obviously everything on that side, but we're still coming up with a solid plan. So we're going to get the vlog out first, but let's face it,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
It's got a V5, it's the bike's mint, spare wheels, it's actually going to be a bit of a race package for someone.
I'm buying 5 tickets, I'm winning that bike.
No, but I'm sorry.
Can we do an inside job? Is that allowed?
No, but we'll have to do it auto-generate, we'll have to do it, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of money we're talking, you know what I mean, for a bike, it's a British super sport. Well, seeing that, the only thing, after speaking to Wilf, it needs to turn it into a British bike, it needs $4,000. for the electronics kit. So obviously that's dash, loom, everything, just to comply with the rules on that side of things. But as far as what I'm doing with that bike is I'm going to do like Croft North East Club on it, No Limits Donington Park. Because like you say, the pressure.
We should enter your bike for that, shouldn't we, Christian?
No, he's a shaker better mine.
We had a conversation, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And this was not over a beer, to be fair. And I was actually, I've got to be honest,
this is their date night.
I was actually sat with Anna at the time.
We'll do our own.
I was actually sat with Anna at the time when you text, and I was actually quite honoured that you. Like, I've not had a chance to say this to you, but I was actually quite honoured that you even.
Do you need a minute?
That you consider doing that. Really,
get saucy.
Listen, you piss take, fuck. That's been coming all night.
Right.
Yeah, we've had a chat, haven't we?
We have had a chat.
Yeah.
What's the chat then?
You're even leaning in quite loving.
No, just like Josh was so undecided with it. Not undecided, but like you don't really know which way to go, do you? What's going on?
In short circuit wise, tough. Yeah.
Are the Parker guys not interested in going and doing short circuits?
Yes, potentially. But it's not I don't want to think about that until we've done. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not the job at hand, really.
The only all I was trying to do was take the pressure off. So like my bike will be sat there.
Yeah.
And it was just literally a case of if stuff doesn't go the way you want to go, then there's a bike going to be sat there.
Yeah.
That's class.
That's literally all it
class.
Is. So I enjoyed doing it that much. I half had an eye on doing like a round or two. I'm thinking I could super sport this for a round.
Oh,
but then,
yeah.
And then I'm like, nah, that's not what you do. But I would like to. But it's not.
Could you do a super sport and a super bike in the same weekend?
Do what you want, but it's not. It's frowned upon in it because you're not concentrating on the job at hand.
Yeah. Imagine having a bad weekend.
As much as it's good fun and like I would love to do it and stuff and just go out literally on.
Of course, Stapleford did it, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few people that have done it. There's been a few
Brooks
people
wanted to do it, didn't he, when he first came over?
There has been a few people that have doubled up, but yeah, it's just and back in the day, people used to do flipping 125, 250, 500 and flipping, didn't they? Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we may get a Chasin the Racin entry into a couple of super sport rounds, maybe.
Well, the trouble is, my bike needs similar to what your bike needs. You know, it like needs. Well, in fact, mine hasn't even got the exhaust, so it needs $4,000 plus an exhaust plus the fairings because you need the fairings to go with the exhaust,
which I've got. It's about
it adds up though, doesn't it?
Massively. You know what I mean? Massively.
You not fancy doing that? Would you not do?
I would love to, but obviously,
in an ideal world, forget like.
And the good thing is with the Burrows lot is they're very much in the same mindset as me. It's a bit like you build up with the TT and work around it from there.
Yeah.
It's a case of John's not frowning upon the British. It's just really, to be blunt, for me to bring the budget in.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like John's like, if you want to do British, that's great. But when you find the budget, it's like, well, that's up to me to find that.
It has been. I must admit, like it has been a flipping eye opener going back. And I mean, I've had like kit over the last few years because I've done quite a bit of riding still. But you just forget how much has moved on. Like when I stopped doing Supersport, they.
So I'm giving him signals across the room.
Airbag suits were like, I think had only just come out, and like a handful of superbike riders had them. Yeah. Whereas now they seem to be like the benchmark, which they should be.
Yeah.
But they're expensive.
Yeah.
And just like everything's just moved on a lot. So like it's been a shock, I must admit. So I feel your pain, Dom.
Oh no, but it's like everyone's in the same boat, aren't they? You know, we all love the sport, but it just takes a lot to say there, doesn't it? So
if I want to do a round with Bennetts, they're going to do some French Superbike rounds.
Class.
And I'm pretty sure they'll put another bike out for me, but it's the same thing. It's finding the money to do a round because they're doing Le Mans. They've got the Le Mans pre-test, which is 2nd and 3rd of April. Then there's French Superbikes, and then the following weekend is the 24-hour. So they're going to go and do the French Superbikes with Gabby, and then as like a bit of a warm-up. And I think I probably could have done that if I'd have gone to him with the money and said, look, I'll, put the money in that.
Of course it is, and that's not being greedy. It's just about trying to find the finances, isn't it? It is literally that simple. So, like even like I've lost a couple of sponsors that if I didn't have them, they stepped up to get me through. It was a very poignant year last year, doing the F9, with Chrissy and everything like that, and they stepped up to that. But then the situation changed, and I can't. Cause I was all revved up to go back and like, let's go do that again. But hey, you can only piss with the cock you've got.
Which is a shame, isn't it?
I do quite like that saying, but don't use it at work.
No.
Like, I'm a woodcut. I can do what I
I
want.
got a
So.
bollocking for that.
Why?
Because I said it in a meeting. You shouldn't say it, apparently.
Why?
Well, it's rude, apparently.
I've used it in a meeting. It shocks people, but
It does,
generally gets the point across, doesn't it?
Don't say it in front of your gaffer, basically. Don't go down well.
Did you get called into the office?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Good lad. Proud of you.
I got the 5 o'clock on the Friday.
5 o'clock. Look, son, you want to forgive her?
I got that undisappointed look from big boss. He'll be listening as well, bless him.
There you go. Get that Norton badge nice and showing there. But I tell you what, me and Kristen here have been looking through the...
I know, sorry if you all heard it.
The questions.
That was me looking through the Patreon questions.
I tell you what, I just wanted to say actually about the days on the dirt thing, because I was having a look at it beforehand, and I actually didn't realise that it's basically one of the only all ladies thing.
Oh yeah, on days of the
which
dirt.
is pretty. I mean, look, well, it's a very male dominated sport. We know that. I think it's fantastic that there's just I mean, Leah's not a slouch as well. Like, she's a proper doer when it comes to riding. So
it's a proper coach.
Yeah, like
it's not just
it's not a track.
And isn't the coach that's with her as well like a top British motocross?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Oh, so, they have set up a serious business.
Thing.
It's no joke.
Yeah,
we've got a few of our like patrons that have actually done the days of the dirt, and it's everyone's. If you've never done anything, you're going to be nervous about it, and it's incredibly welcome. But like I say, they've sponsored the show, and then when we do the house cleaning side of things, we'll go for Grace, God love her, as always. She's always above and beyond the call of duty. We've got a full list from the days of the dirt.
Questions.
Yeah, there's extra questions.
I mean, there's a lot of happy birthday Doms. A lot are wanting to know how old you are today.
Yeah, that's I want to be this Chris Walker of motorbike racing, like the modern one.
You're 38 again.
I'm 30, mate. I tell you what, how old are you? You are the youngest.
How actually old are you?
I'm the third oldest VSB rider.
You do
not.
And I'm still the best looking, so it's absolutely fine.
and the worst at bowling.
Well, I'm not being funny. Like
Bjorn
the best dress.
Listen, Bjorn Esterman beat him, and Bjorn Esterman didn't crash while he was doing it. I'm joking.
No, but like,
he was really good. He won.
He was
miles.
fucking really
no, but
good.
he is the Benjamin Button of motorcycle racing.
Oh, he's been around since about 73.
His son's only like 16-month old, and he's starting to look older than him. You know what I mean? It's worrying. You know, even Toby's going, "Hello, son." You're like, "Hold on, let's get this tidied up straight away." But seriously, yeah, the Patreon questions. By the way, if you want to be a patron, link up and have a look.
Christian, people trying to buy your merch, yeah?
While you guys are going through that, it's worth saying about Bennetts, all their bike social.
Yeah.
Go for it, son.
Back online. It's a mega thing to be part of that Bennetts bike social club. The perks you get for going to the BSB meetings.
And the policies are actually very competitive. I don't know if you've ever done one, but they're actually very, very good.
And they offer the unique pit perch.
The pit perch thing's mint. I love that. I bang on about this all the time, but the one they did at Thruxton was unbelievable. Yeah. It was like on the inside of church, which is
you just take your proof.
I was on church, was it?
On the inside of church,
That's
yeah.
impressive.
I remember cycling the track on the first night and thinking, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And then there was people there, and then they do things like
that's literally unobtainable.
Yeah, like you physically
actually unobtainable.
You can't
they were ferrying them down
in a bus. Like it was class.
And all you have to do is insure your scooter.
You insure your vehicle through Bennetts.
Lovely.
And then you
join bike social as well, don't you? You can bike social members can
and
do
you just show your certificate, don't you?
I think so. Yeah.
You just take a proof.
And they also do they do the safety car laps. I know about that because I've done loads of them.
Pillion laps as well.
Do they still do them?
Yeah, pillion laps, safety car laps.
I've never been asked to do one of them. I don't know why that is, but
I wouldn't
I definitely enjoy
because you don't look old enough to ride.
They're great.
Where you get to drive.
I'll drive you around the track and it's mega.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
So big thanks to Bennetts.
The pit box thing as well. That's like next level. That because you would never
you wouldn't get that in World Superbikes. You wouldn't get that in MotoGP. You wouldn't that anyway.
So what they do is they keep a garage free, don't they? And then they corner, I don't know, 6 or 8 foot out into pit lane so that you can go and experience.
And it's right in the mix. It's right next to box number 1, and you always have they ask riders to come down and do
qualifying's the best time I think to be stood there really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it's really cool, and it's all stuff we don't have time or get the chance to do. So I'm really jealous.
Yeah. And it's easy to go and be a part of it by just insuring through Bennetts.
Yeah.
So.
I tell you what, there's a good one from Kenny that it will probably open a can of worms here, and I know time's ticking on. But what's your thoughts on FHO not doing the Northwest surely the regs for the Northwest should follow the TT, which they're starting to do. There's a few similarity differences. But and also, what did Kenny say? Massive thanks again to the whole CTR family. Well, thank you very much, mate. But FHO not doing the Northwest. But Hickman's still going.
Doing it, isn't he?
Hickman's still going on his own bikes on that side of things, and Josh Brooks won't be there then. But it's like, to be honest, this is the dangerous side of things. It's like it's a massive team missing out on a huge event, but then
but the mad we don't huge event side of things. FHO and Peter Hickman are off to Daytona. With Cooper.
What a lineup Daytona has got this year. I know this is completely off Patreon topic, but like Daytona looks amazing. It's been a bit subdued, shall we say, for a few years, but there's a serious lineup. Obviously, you've got the normal like American doers out there, but then like Yart are going with the full lineup of Yart riders.
Canepa and
Hanneke, Canepa,
the bikes
and Fritz
unreal as well, don't they? Have you seen them videos of them?
You've got Hickman, Cooper. You've got flipping. It's just a big list.
Yeah.
I can't.
How do you get to watch that?
Now, but
how do you get to watch Daytona? What's it on?
On a big plane and you fly all the way out there. I don't know actually.
How big of a plane?
It'll be a Fox.
How big of a plane?
A big plane. A plane big enough. Not an electric plane. You probably won't get past Washington.
Solar panel.
You'll have to stop 4 times. You'd definitely be late.
I've just started zone now.
I didn't even start that one.
I've learnt it.
That is class.
Daytona's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
With this, do you know there's so many good Patreon questions?
You got any bowling alleys in Daytona or anything?
Fuck off.
Well done. Who's texted you that?
There's some cracking on the subject of that. There's some actually cracking questions.
Sorry.
Someone's thanking you for their mum's birthday. Did you two do some videos for them?
Oh, Cyril.
Yeah.
Cyril's mum. It was the big 80. Big 80. So asked for some.
She's asking about your merch as well.
Am I gonna have more merch? No, I don't think there's any plan for any new merch.
No turtlenecks.
No. Grace is gonna do a turtleneck. That's it. Apart from that, there's no more Christian Iddon merch.
I'll tell you what. I hope.
Other than what I've got right now, which is not a great deal. I'm not big on the merch. I don't have many fans, so I don't have much merch.
Bollocks. You've got plenty of fans, man. I'll tell you what, though, I hope Riding Graphics gets a hold of you. You know how we did the pork pie hat thing? You know, the Bakewell tart. Sorry, I hope he puts in a big fucking stupid turtleneck. You know what I mean? And just posts it. So
do you know that picture? Do you know the Rock? Do you know the picture of the Rock with the turtleneck on and the fanny pack and the gold chain? That's Christian.
There you are. I like it. I tell you, no, but speaking of merch, though, we're going to give a shout out to HMY. Sorted out me levers very last minute, and he's working along with Christian and
my
the
team boss,
your
team manager.
Yeah, so
a
big shout.
Is that his role?
Yeah,
I've just been on the phone to him today. I didn't know that. He sorted me some leathers out as well.
Yeah,
Legend.
He's stepping up. Hammy's stepping up.
Oh, that's class. Didn't realise that. Oh, well done.
It's a big shout out to him. There's so many people that shout out. It's mental.
I like this. Sorry, there's a question here. I'm really going to pronounce this wrong, so I'm sorry. Fino Neil. Is that correct? Have I said that right?
Go with it.
I'm a bit thick, so
we've got 3 pages with them.
But yeah, I think this is a cracking question. Says you can pick your own 5 TT riders from any era, in brackets in their prime, to complete a mini mass start around the mountain course, all on modern superbikes. Who are the 5? Foggy Hislop,
Joey,
Philip
McCallan, because he'd just be fucking nuts.
Yeah, he's nuts. And
McGuinness.
That would be a hand grenade.
I'm not going to pick McCallan. I'm going to say McGuinness, Foggy Hislop, McGuinness, Joey.
You missed out all the modern riders there as well. That's quite.
And Hickey.
That's quite. What's it?
Yeah. No, probably Mickey D.
5's hard, isn't it? I was going to say
Mickey D would be prepared to give you a portion, I think.
On the way to being the most successful, he's like getting there.
But I think Hickey, if he had to just put another 10 seconds in, I think he could find it.
He gives that impression, doesn't he?
Yeah. I genuinely think if somebody pushed him, he rides as fast as he needs to win. Not to go down a completely another rabbit hole again.
Yeah.
But I just think
fair.
Hickey, if he has to pull another 10 seconds
but I just think Michael Dunlop's cool.
He's just, to watch.
He's
they're 2 different spectrums.
This is the first time I've ever been scared watching a motorbike race. We stood at Hillborough. And then Hillbury or whatever you call it. And
it's history, Josh. You can't fuck.
It nearly sucked me off the wall. It was so scary.
So gay tonight.
So you're slapping his leg and you're going.
I'm just like, is anyone else going to say anything? I'm kicking him under the table, doing this, going.
I'm trying to keep this highbrow, and someone says sucking off. It's so hard. Isn't it?
I thought he was going to try and make out with earlier on.
Sorry,
we could talk.
It's this highbrow entertainment, and I'm trying to hold my laughing.
Sorry.
Christian,
I forgot we had the mental age of a fucking 10-year-old in this place.
Little boy wheeze, and he's trying to keep it highbrow. You know what I mean?
What is the age dynamic? I know you don't want to say. Give us your racing age.
I don't want to say.
Yes, you do. Go on.
Why?
I think you're 35.
Bullshit.
Older. Let's just say north.
He's fucking out. He's out.
North or south.
North or south or higher, lower or hot or colder. We end up at the number. There's no.
I can just lean in a bit more.
I'm sorry.
Bullshit.
Can we please? That's just fucking
Well, I haven't said yours yet.
I don't give a fuck. I'm 34. Mate, I'm greyer than fucking...
Oh, mate, that is...
You've had a hard paper round for 34,
Massive.
haven't you?
Fucking hell, you're 16, you've had a rougher one than him.
I had a paper round in the Alps. On the back of a camel. Yeah, look at the fucking state, mate. I'm absolutely wrecked,
Bullet
mate.
Bars asked a good question.
Do you know what? I was just reading Bullet Bars the same.
It hasn't been highlighted, so I'm sorry, Grace. Like, Grace has very kindly highlighted the ones.
You beat me to it. Go on, you read that one out.
It's a good one. So, like... is the Euro Regs going to kill off the 1 litre class, as we've seen with the Gixxer Thou and now the lack of production of the R1? Do you see other manufacturers following?
Yes. The R1's really stopping making their bike there, aren't they? So
I don't necessarily think it's the Euro Regs that's going to do it, to be fair. I think that's got almost nothing to do with it. It's going to be the fact that people aren't buying them because
yep, that's a fact.
They're not really good for riding round.
That goes hand in hand, actually. So they're not going to build them to the new regs because no one's buying them.
Yes.
So it's not worth investing in.
Yeah.
But you'll still be able to buy an R1 as a race bike the same way you can do it as an R6
like
basically.
But it's not even just that they're not that great to ride. The fucking cost of them. They're more than a family car.
It's like 20 grand now.
The price of
it's crazy.
A stock 1,000 is obscene.
And genuinely, like, the speed that they go.
It's dangerous on the road.
They're not enjoyable to ride at slow speeds.
Yeah, I don't ride on the road, but like I know what they're like on a track.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So yeah, I don't really think it's that big of a problem because I think that in a very short period of time you're going to see the capacities come down.
Yeah.
From MotoGP.
Well, they're going back to 800.
Certainly, MotoGP apparently is going back to 800 soon
with no aero.
With no aero. I don't know how no aero is worded because no aero is impossible. You put a fairing on it, it's got aero.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. No external wing.
I know, but as in it's interesting how they're going to word it.
Yeah,
because
but
literally a fairing is aero, so
of course, yeah.
How are they going to word it?
I know what you're saying.
But also, I'm reliably informed that superbikes will soon be super sport, which will become superbikes, which will. Well, super sports change. The whole dynamic of racing
my raffle tickets have just got more expensive.
We've got another question.
Everything now is power to weight ratio racing. So literally now, super sport used to be called 600s. It's not 600s because I don't even think there's a 600 in it.
R6 is a 600, but
that's it.
And next year that'll be the R9. So this is the last year you'll see like R6s will be eligible, but from after next year there will be an R9.
So what was your next one there, Joe?
No, I was saying you were sort of that was another question.
Was
about the
who asked the question?
We need a shout out
because we like shouting out.
I'll tell you what I seen the other day in the flesh, and I wanted one so bad was one of them baggers, an Indian.
No,
it's fucking cool.
No, I don't get it.
But you're a bit weird like that. I'm
not weird like
you. Like V4 Ducatis in Oxford Motorapido colours, and that's it.
No, like right. I've got a bit of a thing with these like special races.
Yeah, but that's following the market. What you just say, what you're just saying.
No, yes, following the market, 100%. Get it. But they're not designed for racing round.
Listen. The bike is the one I've seen is in one of our Norton dealers, Crazy Horse. They're an Indian dealer as well, and there was so many of them sold. This thing was £100,000. The only thing that is remotely similar to the original thing is the fucking badge on the tank. It is a super bike.
They're incredible. They are the most expensive bikes in Motor America.
Yeah, with some carbon fibre panniers stuck on it. The thing is fucking gorgeous. It's you look at it, you're like,
so you're not
amazing.
a fan though?
Not even close to being a fan. I couldn't be less of a fan if I tried.
So you're not going to be a bagger racer then?
Well, I might. There's loads of money in it.
Now we're talking.
No, right. So I'll keep it concise because we are.
In fact, I've got a photo. I'll get Grace to
but like they're incredible bikes. But so those sort of things, I get it when it's like a one-off show race that happens. And the first year, I think, do you know what? That's pretty funny and pretty cool. And like they ride badly, and the racing's pretty funny because they ride badly, and the things don't work, and this, that, and the other. And then you get to year 2 and year 3, and actually they start going fucking fast. The bikes are still heavy, like really heavy. It's proper dangerous, I think. Someone's going to get seriously hurt on one. They don't work very well. Still, they're worth more money than any other bike on the grid. And now they're going proper fast on it. So it's not cost effective. They're not the fastest things around the track.
It's very American, isn't it? It is very American.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Very American.
Very.
Let's be careful.
Be
careful. We've got some American fans.
Well, when I say it's very American, I mean it's
not derogatory.
It's loud, big and loud and brash. Yes. Yeah.
So my issue with that sort of racing is like it works when it's a bit of fun, and you go and get a bagger, and we're gonna have the crack. We're gonna race these things that shouldn't be raced. And then you start turning them into race bikes, and they become super expensive. And you start going really fast. You put proper doers on it, and then you basically got superbike ride, top tier riders going really fast on bikes that aren't designed essentially to do that. And they're then so far removed from what they were. They weren't even what they were anyway. Josh has just said that.
Oh,
you're not actually racing around on proper baggers.
I agree with everything you've said.
Apart from,
but I still like it.
No, it's rubbish.
It's like when you watch.
I'm black and white with this one. It's just.
No, exactly.
Unless anyone in Motor America wants me to ride one for a huge amount of money, in which case I love them.
They're not dangerous.
I really like them.
Hold on.
I've been such a fan all my life of baggering.
Your wife listens to this?
Yeah, she knows well.
She got him into it.
Right. Yeah. Come down here, son.
Tell you what, there's...
Whoa. What's your price? Everyone has a price.
No. 6 figures?
No, bollocks. No,
same.
No. Yeah, whoa.
As long as it covers the mortgage, it's fine. I'll race it.
So, right. He lives in Bladen, so it won't be a lot.
It's about 80 quid a month.
I'm only joking.
He's not.
No, that's good. He'll kill us for that.
It's got a lovely tree in it, though.
It's now got a nicely pruned tree. So
he lives in the posh end, though.
It's a nice
posh end.
Apparently, according to Nicola, it does.
You live in it, there you go. But
no, Nicola said it like we were describing where we live, and she went the other side of Bladen. I'm like, no, it's actually Bladen.
I love it, absolutely love it. Go.
I'm just saying, there's a cracking question here from Stephen Fenwick, who's asking, are any of us going to be doing any of the Bennetts bike social track days, specifically the one at Alton Park in May? If so, you'll see we're there. I mean, I'll probably go, but I'll definitely won't be allowed to ride anything after my performance last time.
What happened last time?
Tell us, Josh.
He was riding around on cannonballs.
Actually, what I was riding around on was my own adventure bike, which I managed to stay upright on, and then I rode that poor
boost bike,
Renaissance superbike. Who's also, I know, is a fan of the show. He does. Basically has like replica bikes from the early 2000s.
Classic superbikes.
Yeah.
Which you can go on cartwheel at any point.
And he was kind enough to let me have a go on really immaculately turned out.
They are nice, aren't they? They're really nice.
Cadbury's Boost.
They were.
YZ F750, which I jumped off at Cascades racing. Fuck this.
At least you picked a slow corner.
Yeah. There is video footage, but you are not getting it.
That is class.
I've seen it. Did you show me that?
I did send it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have shown it.
Like an absolute cock as well. He fully deserved it.
That is
no, I'm joking. He wasn't. Right.
It was a weird crash, to be fair, but it was just a freezing cold day, and that's why I need a new suit.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So as far as the patrons, I think we've pretty much borderline covered everything else. Obviously, thank you so much for the
loads. Maggie said happy birthday. Alex said happy birthday. Lots of happy birthdays.
So we've got Nick H, Shirley, Aaron Jeffs. Yes,
very lot of that. But
we've covered a lot of it.
We've covered loads, haven't we? Loads and loads.
Sorry, I thought the batteries were going there. Sorry.
I panicked there as well. Sorry.
But no, Kenny, thank you so much. Harry, sniffing skid marks, that's Will. Thank you so much, mate. Stephen, CJ from America there, so you'll be laughing at the the American comments on that
Harry
side.
asking about the V2, we've fully covered that.
I've got a question from Jess Mortimer. Is Dom doing Christian's spring PT?
Well, it started today, and I haven't seen his name in the group.
Well,
I know what you charge.
I haven't done it either, to be fair, even though I'm in the group.
You're in the group,
but I haven't done the workout yet.
I know what you charge. I can't afford these things.
It's gone up. There's a cost of living crisis. It's gone up. £21
Did he charge you?
No.
I'm joking.
I mean, I can't hack the pace. Don't step up if you can't keep up. You know, as simple as that.
Josh has joined this year. Josh is on a real...
On a hellbent.
I've actually been training very hard.
You did a race today, didn't you? Yesterday?
Like an unofficial race, but it was a part of the Wearside Triathlon Club who I've been training with. So I'm doing a couple of things basically. I'm with a group called CB Fitness who's got a gym in South Shields, and he's really, really good. And I'm getting absolutely beasted at those sessions. And then I'm swimming twice a week with the Wearside Triathlon Club. And then we're doing like a mini duathlon series basically until it's warm enough to go swimming outdoors. And we did that on Sunday. It was really, really good. But it was really fucking hard.
It would be.
Yeah, it was really hard.
I've done my...
He's not invited because he'd be very good at it.
I can imagine him swimming like a brick though.
I'm terrible. Brick throwing a parachute, mate. That's what I'm
Yeah.
Class.
Did you do the swimming at the weekend then?
I did the swimming this morning, but it was just
duathlon
on Sunday, right. So it was a bike run.
Although you did send me a picture and you looked very disinterested in the running bit. I had to zoom in on your face because I was laughing a lot. I'm going to look at it now.
Send it to Grace.
I will send it to Grace.
Screenshot, send it to Grace 100%.
It was just death warmed up basically. It wasn't great.
Absolutely love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it. But I tell you what, I'm very conscious about time here, and people will be probably booing and saying, "Oh, why can't we keep going?" But hey, this is what podcasting's about for me. It's just getting together, having a laugh, and constantly I've loved it, lads. Thank you so much. You've made it a cracking birthday. Here we go. Where's this photo?
The face of joy.
That is the face of it.
You bastard. Right,
that's going straight to Grace. That should be up now. So anyone that's just listening, just click on exactly this timestamp and have a look on the screen.
That's what his face looks like when he looks down. It says 3% charge on the dash. That is the face.
I'm going to siphon all the fuel out of your car now.
What are you going to fucking do with it?
That is amazing.
Have we got any housekeeping to do?
A little bit more housekeeping. So obviously, thank you so much about Mark Betts, Dawn Helmsley, Ryan Garside, TT newcomer this year.
Oh, he's doing the TT?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting how he gets on. He's going to love every second of it. We've got Michael Harrison, Steve Jacks. He's part of my 130 club this year. So looking forward to that. Part of the perk of joining the 130 club this year, it's actually the bomb squad now, but he aims to try and get over 130, so it's £131 for the membership this year, but you get a free draw to the raffle. 131, okay. But you get a coffee tumbler, t-shirt, stickers, and
that's pretty cool.
And Facebook, cool. the club scene side of things, you know what I mean. But we've got Craig Harris, we've got Jess. I'm trying to think. I think we've actually read Bullet Baz. I like that name. That's crack. Julian Rose. We've read everyone's name.
Comes on a few track days to Croft. I've seen him a few times on the Whittam days.
There you are. See, you got to keep it local. But no, as far as the housekeeping, obviously we talked about Bennetts and all the benefits on that side of things. But Bennetts are a massive part of the show. OMG Racing, Alan Garner. He's got some fantastic news after everything that he's been going through. But that's up to the OMG Racing team to announce that when they want to. But it is some very good news.
Positive. That's cool.
Yeah. So I didn't want to. You can't deliver that any other way. But it's up to them how they want to deliver it. But it's good news. It's good news. So brace yourselves on that side of things. Also, JCT, who we talked about, Lee Johnson, personal sponsor of them, and it goes without saying we wish Lee a super speedy recovery.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just from himself, because the lad is getting dragged through hell. Not going through, he's getting dragged through it. And if anyone's going to get on the other side of it, it's Lee. So let's keep everything heading in the right direction from.
And JCT still a sponsor of.
Yep. So
Lee, yeah.
So
as well as the pod.
They got in touch with Grace, and they've got a good rate. They just want the show to continue.
I've seen his on the side of the M1 today. Actually, he's got a banner up on the side. I've seen it. Whatever motorway I was on today. I've seen it up a few times.
Oh, well, they are. No, but so they're about but obviously all these firms like I've got links. Please show the support, because like I was saying at the beginning of the show, is we are a free service, but this free service wouldn't happen without the support of the patrons, without the sponsors. It just wouldn't happen. So it's these amazing people who are providing this for you lot who are listening. So that goes without saying.
And if you're a lady, check out Days on the Dirt.
That goes without saying.
Days on the Dirt on Instagram.
And I was just going to say as well, in June, Grace is going to be finishing school, and she's going to wants to go into doing media as a full-time job. So if there's anyone listening who wants someone to help with their media side for the business, get in touch.
And she's pretty good at it.
Grace
she is,
very, very good at it. And this is why, we all want to support what she's doing. She's got some talent there, and so anyway.
Well, not only did she make Dom look good on video, she also made you look good on video, which is saying something.
That is saying something.
You deserve that for all the shit you gave me tonight. Just
hold on, is that your comeback?
That's pathetic, isn't it?
He's been 2.5 hours, and that's what he comes back with. That's his big finish.
He went.
I feel so sorry for your lass if that's your big finish.
Fucking hell.
And on that note,
she didn't have to wait 2.5 hours, did she?
Athlete. But I tell you what, I'm gonna have to read this out because Grace, God love it, typed this all in. So it's Days of the Dirt, all women introduction to off-road riding and motorcycle in general. Flat track or motocross sessions available, suitable for someone that's never ridden a bike before or has basic understanding. It's accessible to small numbers of track to instructors per day. So it's small groups, but you get more for your money. You get
it's more one-to-one, and it's for all abilities. Essentially.
Yeah, it sounds like all abilities, which is really cool. Because trying to get ladies into motorcycle sport is not easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds like a really accessible way to get people into it. So it's cool.
And
from a riding perspective, I think off-road is an easier way to start. I know it seems like harder terrain, but it's
more
fun.
It's
a bit more,
especially flat track. Flat track's a good mix, isn't it? Because you've got a bit of speed and it's
But the fact that they do both of these, the Day of the Dirt, it's actually a full weekend camp of it. Like speaking to Sam Hinkson, who's a patron of the show, she's done these several times. It's not like you do one and move on. You can keep doing them like every time they put the date on.
I want to do it, but I don't think I'm eligible.
I know that's what
You've got the legs. It's annoying. Like you read it sounds mega.
It's 2024.
What's your pronouns?
You can be what you want to be.
As whatever I want to be.
That's it.
Maybe we could try and do something with Leah and do like a day where we wear wigs and do it.
There's a bit of wishful thinking there, Josh. I'm not gonna,
Is this something you need to tell us?
No, that's it. We all love you, mate. I feel like we're just.
I'm halfway there. I started in Turtleneck. I'm like, that's me.
But no, these Day of the Dirts, the female-led training for flat track and Kath Booth. That's so Kath Booth, they're both business partners, women's MX champ. So
that's cool.
That is cool. The pair of them are full do. The fee includes the bike, the insurance, all the kit, boots and helmet and everything. You literally turn up.
You literally just rock up.
You rock up. You do not have to pre-invest before doing this event, which is absolutely fantastic. Also offers advance, so there is an advance element to it as well. They will cater for any need that you need. They've got the vouchers, all Greenfield, Lincolnshire area. They travel around, but please go check them out. Socials is at Day on the Dirt. So please hit them up and get out there and have a great time. Other notices on this side of things. Chrissy did a documentary called Chasin the Championship, which is absolute. It's
a good watch.
Put it this way.
I actually remember the day he sent it me pre-release, and I watched it while I was spinning. I had to sort of get off and watch it properly because it was mint. I was fully involved, fully engrossed in it, invested. I needed to concentrate. It was mega.
And is it free now if you've got Amazon Prime?
Yep, it's free on Amazon Prime, and it's so close to help get to 1 million minutes of viewing time.
So it's nearly there, is it?
It's nearly there. And Dave Boom, who I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong, he'd be laughing because he listens to all the shows, but Dave, Chrissy were really good friends, and it'd be fantastic to get it over that hurdle because Dave returns that back into the sport, and we've all got to help each other out on that side of things.
It is a great watch. It's fantastically well produced. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
There we are. But no, as always, we're always looking for individual sponsors for each show. And yeah, please get in touch with Grace. And, bearing in mind, Grace is the queen of the pod. This is, a family's, Chrissy's legacy, and it's something as simple as getting in touch with Grace, which is, you get that connection. We're sitting here, we're the ones like having the crack and stuff, but Grace works her absolute arse off.
Which has got to sit and listen to us for 2.5 hours.
No, she got to edit all of this.
That's it.
Does every single one that sits and goes through it all, puts together the YouTube video, puts together the audio.
And she will be looking at the time going, you dickheads.
How deep are we?
Josh, do you want to answer that? 2 hours 42.
Oh.
2 hours 42. She's a biggie.
We're up to bump stops.
We are the bump stops here, but honestly, lads, yet again, it's been absolutely class. Yeah. And thank you to everyone listening, and stay tuned to the next one. Catch you later, guys.
Cheers. See you.